Yo,
Yo.
what's the news?
What's the
Y'all part of
word,
the
gang?
drop? Hey.
Living in a party portal thing. What's happening?
The Viant that keeps cutting off, bro. But I did get an email from Royal about your drop, dude. So congrats. I see the marketing pushing out from Royal. Shout out Blau and his platform.
Yo, I fucking love Blau. It's my homie, bro. I love that guy. He's so funny.
Yeah, dude. I actually never checked out the platform until Leviant put me on today with his drop, and I went and copped one of the 100 pieces the Leviant's drop.
Bro, that song is fire.
So
Yeah.
I never checked
I
that
didn't even know
platform
you
out
was coming
before. It's
like that.
fire, dude.
Neither had I. Yeah, I never saw it. It was smooth. It
Imagine
was cool.
you collect enough portions or shares of multiple different artists and music, and you could have a royalty check coming in that's decent. I mean, you got to collect a good amount of them, right? But
I'm about to say, I could absolutely see that being a thing. Like you said, the right amount of them, but it's doable.
yeah, I never seen. I mean, I've heard about his platform, and I know Kuro knows him, and even Dre's had some conversations with him on Leap Stage. But pretty cool fucking platform, man. It's a dope concept. It's an execution too, and they have like a Web 2 concept built in. I paid with credit card, like I didn't want to figure out connecting my wallet and everything. I didn't want to just connect my wallet to buy something with ETH, so I just bought it with a credit card.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell this Fidenza right now. I'm trying to do this shit all day.
But didn't you?
Yeah, bro, I was gonna spend ETH, but I don't know. I might do the debit card, credit card, just cause I wanna get it out the way, and I'm actually trying to collect it.
Yeah, no, it's easy. Yo, Kuro, has anybody checked on that guy that traded his Fidenza for the mutant dog or whatever the fuck that project was? Do you remember
Oh
that,
god.
dude?
Yeah,
Damn, that's horrible.
that guy's. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Because the Fidenza's value is still up there, ain't it?
Yeah, bro. It's right now it's like 100 ETH floor. Um, I think the one that I have under my custody is like I'm trying to get 750 ETH for it because I have a plan that I want to execute. So yeah, I'm just talking with these punk guys and stuff. I was in a group chat today and I fucking pasted one of the Fidenzas that my buddy has that he's trying to sell as well, and fucking yeah, I had to leave that group chat and block somebody over that today.
What's up, Dre Millie? Are you getting a Fidenza? Kuro's got one for sale.
No way.
Ain't no way.
750 ETH. It's real cheap, bro. Come on, chill. 750 ETH. Just 750 ETH, bro.
I'm gonna be honest. Before I got into the whole NFT space, I never even knew what a Fidenza was.
I'll just be straight up with you. I think it's fucking ugly, to be honest. Okay. It's not even like one of the ones that I want. It's like it's not like it doesn't look good, okay? Like I would not put that. It's like one of those things that they have inside of the vet's office so the dogs stare at it so they don't do
Bro,
anything.
yes, bro. I was literally gonna say something in the children's like section of a hospital or something. I don't know. Oh, you know those toys where you can like slide the little block along the snake road and it can come off
Mm-hmm.
the tape? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's some sketchy shit, bro. I think it's money laundering still. I still tell my brother every day that he did money laundering.
That's what it sounds like, Kuro, that you guys are just buying expensive art. Okay, so here's the thing. Before I got into NFTs, the narrative that was pushed was like, oh, yeah, they're all money laundering money through them NFTs over there. You know, there was these.
No, it's money laundering. It's definitely money laundering. I participated in it. I would know.
Oh, shit. Shadow, what's up with your mic, bro? Where you at? I'm gonna mute Shadow. The mic sound bad. Sound like he's at the grocery store or the gym. Well, Kiro, so when I came over to the space, I was like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how they're using this digital art to money launder through Ethereum, and then at the time, Tornado Cash, and so yeah, thanks for confirming.
Yeah,
I wish
definitely
I
money
made it.
laundering. The only thing is that we're all idiots and we thought we were money laundering, but we still got to pay taxes.
Hey, that's fucking hilarious.
Bro, imagine I'll be straight up. I'll tell you what date is on this account. I was actually talking to the guy that does the mugs after the space today, because he was asking me when I started NFTs, and it was, let me double check here, because I want to get a Bad Take mug. I was gonna ask you and Dre if I would have permission to get the Bad Take logo and my clone printed on a mug.
Do it, bro. L made me a bad take mug. I think it's still in Florida. I actually just looked at, bro. You know what I was looking at? Somebody posted that mouse pad, and I was looking at giant custom mouse pads with this render that Ali did of my clone. I'm sure you guys have seen the render, and I was like, it looks so good on a mouse pad. I'm over here like,
Bro, those details are slept on. I can't lie, bro. Like MacBook, like computer key covers, and you know what I'm saying? Like they can make USB cords, all type of shit, mouse pads, bro. Like it's tight. Like I mean, that's the shit we use every fucking day, anyways. I don't know where the heads are at. I mean, I like the toys and everything, but like I don't know, bro. I've already spent like 2K on 3D prints with my friends in this in this space, bro. So like
I
I
was
really don't even
thinking
need the
about it, bro.
toys anymore.
I was thinking about it. I was like, Ali, what's up, bro? So this is the plan. This is a business plan. You do the art, and then I'll do all the physical printing of the mouse pads and like accessories and these, like I know I would buy this shit. And POV just said he spends money on his his accessories. Oh man, your art on some physical shit, baby. Let's rock.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready.
I
Hey,
actually did.
for real, let's get it.
I looked up the giant like 30. What is it? 36 by 16-inch mouse pads. The massive
Bro,
ones, dude.
compound, bro. You know what we need to do? Cause like like I fuck with Mozzie so heavy. Like he's the one I really be shopping with most of the time. But he was making like these like computer like keyboard caps like for your modular
Oh yeah,
keyboards and
yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Man, we could snap with that. Like that'd be cool.
Dude. Yeah, that's actually pretty fire. Put a bunch of like little artifact blades on it, or now you can't sell that shit, huh? You'd have to be our own IP, be your own clone.
Well,
Shadow, you
that's why
got
I
your
wanted to
what's up?
ask permission before I put the Bad Take logo on anything and print it out, right? Because it's your IP. See, this is the whole reason why Sassy Labs exists, is for IP and IP registration.
Bro, I want to ask the story behind Sassy Labs actually, because I see that you and I see Richie Rich been cooking. Um, that whole thing was specifically for apes and anybody else to kind of leverage their IP and work towards, or what is it? What's behind it?
Yeah, so like right now, what we're trying to do, that's why I've been asking Artifact, and I have a second meeting with Nike. First one, the guy, I know him, right? He's in this space. He parties a little bit. The rep from Nike, so he was just sick that day because he got way too drunk or whatever, right? So Thursday I have my meeting with Chiru Labs, so I'm going to be going over the licensing part with them. So basically, you see the mutant grape, and he just dropped, like Richie just dropped a bunch more cannabis products in New York State, and then there's a couple more coming into California through Cookies. So you'll see a bunch of the half baked vaporizers and stuff inside of dispense, like that chain of dispensaries. What's it called? Cookies dispensaries. So like basically is to like smooth out the process of getting the IP license protection and it um from the collection, right? Because like most of the collections you don't own, like you own the IP as a customer, but they can enforce the IP for you, which is like kind of where we want to be, right? We want to make sure that holders' IPs are protected, especially after this whole poly rider rips grifter situation. Like it's just been horrible for a lot of the holders because they had endorsement deals, but then their IP was just appearing on random products that these scammers were making. Wasn't the best. Now there's a solution and it's enforceable. You saw their faces coming out of court. They're not happy. Don't pretend to be, right? Like, yeah.
You said that so perfectly, bro. That was, yeah.
I don't think there's anything like say there was someone selling custom mouse pads or whatever, and they're doing clone, whatever, just anything custom, and they're putting clones on it, but they're profiting off the labor done, right? In the same sense as remember the drama that was all over the timeline about the rug, the artifact blade rug that was made. Like you're paying somebody for their work and their time. You're not specifically like paying for the art. It's that gray area. So this like a similar concept. Like if someone is creating custom artwork for clones or apes or anything and they're profiting off that, like are they in
I'd say
trouble?
it's like
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
one thing, bro, if they were
Are they
like if someone was mass producing one clone, but like the fact that it's like you said, upon per request, it's really like you're purchasing the art and the person's time and the support of the person
Yeah,
creating the individual piece.
yeah,
It's not like you're buying like 10 compound mouse pads from dude, you know what I'm saying? And then trying to sell those, and then eventually maybe you sell the clone or something, and that IP doesn't belong to you anymore.
yeah. No, I agree. What's up, Shadow? Bro,
Hey man, I
where are you right now?
just want to say if I catch any one of y'all screenshotting my NFT, I'm taking you to court.
My lawyers are being called, baby.
But no, this is a good conversation though. I hope and wish one day we wake up and we see a made by clones because I think I think that's super cool, man. It really what is the word? I don't want to say legitimized, but we are legit, but I don't know. It just adds some like a more like serious kind of like, look, this is where you can go to pick up some dope shit by creators within your community, and then also it acts as a magnifying glass of like, yo, I want to buy some cool NFT coffee and there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things. I'm realizing. And I was even sitting down like, oh, what is some cool stuff you can do with your clone? You know what I mean? Like as far as like, I know the obvious is like apparel type stuff, but um yeah, basically I like the conversation and I hope we get to that point one day. I hope every major blue chip NFT project gets to that point because then that would really make people feel like when you're buying an NFT, you are buying it to be a part of a journey and yada yada yada, but then also you now have the capabilities to where you basically bought like a mascot, you bought a business, you bought so much more than just a PFP basically. So yeah,
Bro, Shadow, I was gonna say like that, like exactly right off the back of what you were getting at is like the idea, like they telling us that we getting this IP with these NFTs and all this shit, but like we really not being instructed on how to use the IP. And I know a lot of the people in the community that have tried to be like the first movers on using their IP. Some of them have gotten shot down. Some of them, sometimes some things don't go all the way right. So they were kind of like guinea pigs for the concept. But in all honesty, if we had, like you said, a made by creators or something like that, that would be the best way to kind of like baby foot us into the idea of using our IP. Plus, you got to lead by example for real. And some of us here do have those skills to come out with a product and already have the marketing strategies behind it. But then some of us are super like we need the For Dummies book on this shit. So being in a bucket full of like all of us together, where you can't necessarily point it out who's going the hardest, but you can see who's a good example to follow. That's probably the best way to do it. Plus, I feel like it gives them the space to have a little bit of control over it, so they're not always like hurting people's feelings when they shoot down. Because people do a lot of hard work. Like even with a kid called Beast, bro, I've seen people go so hard on making a product, getting the box made. I mean, getting this shit laminated. All of this stuff you gotta really do when you make a product. And then like they'd get maybe to the end and there'd be something maybe about the font that wasn't exactly right. But that's one thing I like about them is that they are working with creators. But on the note of Artifact, it'd be dope to see way more specifics laid out, way more like examples of what we can do, how the packaging should look for something, if there are specific fonts we should stick to. Because I know they don't want us to disrespect the brand, and we don't want to disrespect the brand either. But we also don't want to waste time, and we want to like get busy with this shit. So,
well, I wanted to drop Kuro wine, right? But through Mutant Grape. But like the whole problem is like getting the permission, having that conversation. It just needs to be kind of like streamlined better, like what's happened with Made by Apes, right? Like that's basically what I'm trying to get at with people. But I know probably because I say some pretty crazy stuff occasionally, they're they're like, oh, I don't know about this guy. But now that you could see the execution, because remember, this was supposed to happen 2 months ago. It's just, we have to be very intentional with what we're doing, because we're building this out for it to be like the future protocol for every project to be able to use, and to like really just give people peace of mind, and like that's kind of like why I've been intentionally trying to like target certain projects and stuff, because here's my theory: in the next like 5 years, there's going to be about 15 projects left. You have your Artifact, your Azuki, your Board Ape Yacht Club, and your Doodles. Uh, yeah, this is pretty much the ones that I like right now, just because I see the most potential in those ones. The other ones are awesome too, right? But it's like you don't know what they're doing here, man, because they don't give you IP rights. So I'm really worried about like. I'll just be straight up. I sold the D gods that I had. I had planned on collecting 10 of them, but I sold them because I don't know what the IP rights and limitations are for them, right? So I don't want to put too much capital into something that I don't understand.
Hey, somebody answer me this, because I am being serious. I do want to try to cosplay my clone one day. But the BTC glasses, is that included with my IP rights, or is that like that's for everybody that
You have
has
to
it?
remove, like, say you were to 3D print them, right? Like,
What did you say?
have
I
you ever
missed the
heard of
first part. I got cut out.
Shapeways? Oh, he was saying his
I was
BTC
like changing
glasses. So
services.
yeah. So if say you wanted to 3D print them, you'd have to take the model and remove any artifact logos from it, right? Um, if especially like it's just you'd have to have special permission from Artifact in order to actually use the logo, right? And Nike is not known to give that sort of permission. So
No, yeah. No,
you
my
know,
thing is, yeah, because I was gonna 3D print it, but just because we're having a conversation, I'm trying to understand what is the difference between like what we do and what we do not own. I assume that anything with artifact on it, we obviously don't own, even if it's like a tattoo or on the shirt, which I think my clone shirt has like a lot of artifact symbols, like all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, especially when you're using, so I have a plan to. I have like a couple of clones stashed away that because like at these prices, you got to start stashing clones in different wallets and stuff. I want to like make a virtual boy band with it because I've been messing around with like this AI stuff, right? So I'd be allowed to monetize it up to $100,000, I believe it is. So, having some sort of clarity on that is is kind of like, and then having a streamlined application process like the made by Ape is kind of like where I'd like to see Artifact go with it. Um, just because it will make everything a lot easier and a lot more streamlined. And also having a place where you can see all the products and services that clones have in one place. So it's like well organized. It's known by Artifact and Nike what we're doing as individuals with our assets and stuff like that. Um, and there's an accountability for us. Like, you don't want somebody going around doing only clones again. Like, as hilarious as that was at the time, it was super cute, but it's like it could be damaging to the Artifact brand and to Nike's brand. And that means that my shares are going to go down in price, and I don't want that because Nike's only up to me.
That was a pretty clear line in the sand. I can't lie. I like how you ended that. Everybody knowing what they can and can't do, making things like super obvious for both sides so we can hold each other accountable. Yeah. Coexistence, man, communication.
Hey, Levant, good man.
Yo, what's good, gang? How you been?
Doing good.
Feel like we
Yes,
was
sir. I
really
hit the
hanging out in
club after
Cyber.
my first NFT drop today. Hope y'all good.
Bro, I
What was
can't hear
the first drop?
Kuro. I can't hear everybody's rug. I'm doing good. How you doing, Levant? You sound like you're out, bro.
Yeah,
Sounds like
bro.
you're
I just hit
outside.
the club after my first drop, bro.
Hey, he's out there. Hey, did you tell him to play your song, bro? They better have played it up there.
Nah, they were playing some fucking club Greek shit, bro. It was funny as fuck. But hey,
We
if we sell out, which we close, I'll hop on the fucking CDJs and make them drop that shit.
just walk up there with your USB, like yo 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 yo. Let me play my jam. Yo, Kuro, if you can you step down and then back up so I can hear you? Just felt like I was listening.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I hear you now, bro. Let's fucking
Yeah,
go.
I jumped down and I came back up. I think Dre got me back up here
Oh, perfect. Thank
because
you.
my phone. I don't know what it's been lately. Like I just installed new internet and it's just super glitchy. It's even worse than the last internet. So I'm just on the 5G now because
Nah,
this
dude, I step
Nah,
internet
do
I'm
your
on is
thing,
outside.
bro.
reliable.
Outside.
We outside. Shout out to everyone who minted my drop today. Shout out to Comp.
I was telling him earlier, where were you at, Leviathan? You were in here. We were talking about Royal and Blau. It was my first time on Royal. It was when we started the space.
Yes,
That
bro.
fucking platform's
It's
nice.
my first drop on Royal. Those guys are fucking dope.
What was there a requirement for Royal? Like, how does the process go? Do you like apply? How does it
Yeah,
all? How does it
yeah, it's
work?
still in closed beta as far as I know. You gotta apply with your song basically.
Would you say it's kind of similar to like Sound XYZ, or would you prefer it over Sound XYZ?
Yeah, it's kind of similar, but I think the payout system is a bit more straightforward. You feel me?
Okay. Yeah, I've been holding on to a lot of music just because I know when it goes into this NFT music stuff, it's a specific way I might want to do it or might not want to do it. But it was cool seeing what you did, bro, and
I
hearing the song
appreciate you, bro.
too.
I said anyone from Bad Take that's in here right now and on the Twitter group, uh, anybody can get a free Nike, an artifact jersey if they mean my drop and DM me or just comment on my post. So I'm just giving out.
I want that thing in real life, bro. That jersey. Actually, so that bro, that Nike artifact jersey was probably the fastest shipping artifact item that I ever saw. Didn't that shit ship in like 1 week? For
Yeah,
everybody to
but
get
I'm
that,
still waiting for my season one, to be honest. So all I
that's the
can do is,
comparison there. That's what I'm saying. If the artifact standard is the season one ship time, that Nike artifact soccer jersey went out in record time, bro. That shit was like a week. It was out in people's hands.
facts, 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 facts.
I was talking to Dre earlier on the phone. We were kind of trying to guesstimate on how quick the CRLs will hit once they actually ship, and we were trying to guess whether or not it's going to be they're going to be pushed by Nike distribution or a different distribution.
Hopefully next month, though, or this month.
I think those and the AF1s are going to come in through the Nike standard. Anything shoe related, I think is going to come through the Nike standard from here on out.
So
But
Let's
distribution, right?
hope so.
go ahead.
Which Nike, I mean, I've bought shit from Nike before. Their distribution is fucking great, bro. They get it out. They get it out quick.
Yeah, and the
Whoever
reason
whoever got contracted to ship season one, whatever fulfillment and distribution company, we know that they're they moving slow
yeah,
because
and the
all
reason
that shit, like the artifact team is not packaging these things one by hand and sending them out. There was a contract for fulfillment and distribution, I'm sure, and it was probably by the factory, to be honest, and they still lacking. But so me and Jerry were talking about the CRLs and even Air Force Ones, and if them things are pushed by Nike, like we know how they operate, we know how the Nike distribution is. So
well, the Air Force One's 100% for sure. I'm not sure about the CIRLs, but I want to say yes to those as well too, because these are coming out of Nike's factories. So they already are used to whatever the shipping and yada yada yada. When it gets off of the belt and it's ready to get boxed up, they probably have a whole kind of like boom, 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 and this is where this is going. So yeah.
I agree, bro. I agree. I bought one pair, ever since Dre got me on fucking what's it called? Uh Sneakers app. I bought one or two maybe things from Sneakers app, and this shit came like 2 days later. Quick. Tevy knows. That's the type of distribution I'd like to see for them CRLs. Yo, Shadow, you didn't get CRLs? Are you gonna try to buy them secondary?
Sorry, I'm eating this amazing Italian authentic pizza. Yeah, I have to pick up every shoe on secondary. So that's why Shadow's gonna stay broke. Because as soon as I get like one or two ETH together, I gotta spend it on something. So this next two ETH I gotta spend on this Planet X, and then I immediately gotta turn around and prepare to get ETH together to buy the AF1s or the the CIRLs, because y'all are getting them this month, right?
What size are you, Shadow?
Hey, yeah, I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to tell me that you ain't got it in my size.
I got a decent amount, so I was gonna
Hey, I
see if
can
I
do
do.
14s. 15 is kind of the best, but 14 and a half, I mean,
Oh,
is
we
where.
got a Dre Mill part two
Well, you
here.
got
Yeah,
Drake.
you might gotta call Dre. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Jesus
I knew
Christ.
Shadow was tall.
Yeah, I'm
Guys,
6'2", man.
Damn.
But yeah, we it depends on the shoe, because like there's some shoe companies I'm a 15, then there's others I'm a 14, but most of the time I can fit all 14 and a halves. But the ones that like run small and I gotta get a 15, 9 times out of 10 I normally gotta like order those, do like
You need
special.
some Air Max slippers?
What? I got the old
I
school like Nike slippers from like 12 years ago. They
I
still
got some
good.
size 14 actually they're size 15 uh Air Max slippers. Slightly used.
Yo, where do you find size 14 and a half anything?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
They don't even make
At
that
those
size
sizes,
for real. That's a wrap.
they don't make
at
half sizes up
Ross,
there, do they?
you can go to Ross or Marshalls and just walk all the
And
way down
said
to the end.
Ross.
Yeah, just walk all the way to the
So
end of the
true.
aisle.
Hey, but he's not lying though, bro. You go into Raw sometimes. When I say they be having the weirdest shit ever, like they probably would have a size 15 shoe.
Size
Just
27 Timberland
Well,
boots.
no, I get a lot of size 15 stuff because I'm the same way as you, Shadow. I'm either like a 14 or a 15, depending on the shoe. But I have never, in my entire shoe connoisseur history of living, had a size 14 and a half anything.
I got size 14 Nike slides, but they from like 12 years ago though. Like I said, I've been having these since like I was in high school. They still good, man.
That's the one thing about Nike slides. Everybody has a pair from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, and they're not torn apart. They don't look like aliens made them. Um they don't give you bad posture. Should I go on?
In other words, they're not Adidas.
I got stripes, but bad word
Yo,
Adidas.
we need a more intense laughing emoji. I honestly think that would just do it.
I was actually like because I forgot to chop up this one pair of Adidas that my brother yeah, he got some nice shoes when he left the other day when I dropped him off at the airport. Went to go pick up because he was like, "Oh, where are my Adidas?" I'm like, "What?" So he just passed by the Nike store because I had already ordered them for me to pick them up. You know, my repertoire there is pretty good. I went there today to go look for bucket hats. They had none, Baron. Again, I keep telling them, put those the Nike golf bucket hats aside for me. I need a extra large, okay, because my head is big, and then not only is my hair big, but my head is big. I have a big old funny shaped head, and I need my bucket hats. Apparently, all they can manage to keep there for me is the ACGs because people don't know that they're Nike hats or something. It's like they don't get it.
Hold on, man. This dude in here, do you put a thumbs up? Do you seriously have AskCatchem.eth? Do you actually have that ETH address?
Here, I'll check for you if he has it right
Bro.
now.
Dang, he put a thumbs up. That's
Oh,
Yo,
he
crazy,
does.
bro.
Shadow, you might as well.
Oh, he's a future billionaire.
You might as well stack all the Pokemon.eths.
Bro,
I'm
don't
sure they're
ever
gonna
let
take.
that ESN go, bro. What do you say, Compound?
There's probably a group of them that already stacked all the Pokemon ENSs, bro. Those ENS guys, they. If you thought about it, they thought about it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Whenever
got
ENS,
he has Ash Ketchum, bro. Like that's because you can't take Ash. Like you have to have both of them. Like, bro, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm just gonna go on to just a little side rabbit hole real quick.
Whoa.
I've noticed in the last week, everybody, everybody from video games to AR to NFTs to video games, like everything. Everybody compares everything to Pokemon. I was listening to AR and they were like, in one day we'll be able to play Pokemon in AR. I'm listening to crypto space. In one day Pokemon's gonna come and they're gonna change the landscape. We're even comparing animes to Pokemon. And then you have what was the other thing? Like the Pokemon video game, when they finally come out with an MMO. And then it just got me thinking, like, bro, every aspect of entertainment and future tech uses Pokemon as a benchmark
Even
of if we
Vivi.
reach this level.
But how many of you MFers in here actually fucking play Pokemon? Like, how many? Raise your hand if you're playing Pokemon every day. Like anybody in here.
Okay, not every day,
No,
but
that's what
I'm
I'm
ready
saying.
for
Like,
Animus. That's the
I
closest
play
thing I'll ever get to
Pokemon Go
Pokemon.
here and there, but not every day.
like who's still playing? Bro, in 2016, I was running around the fucking streets, driving around playing Pokemon in summer of 2016, the last great fucking summer that we've ever had. Everything's been downhill since summer of 16. I'll tell you that right now. When
Nah,
everybody
man.
was outside playing Pokemon, just enjoying life together.
Wait, you weren't part of the trading card craze where you would just rip 50 boxes open of Pokemon and
Hey,
hope to
No,
get the
bro.
Charizard?
Pokemon,
com- Compound,
Pokemon
they
ever since.
playing. They are playing Pokemon, the title games on Nintendo Switch, just like we were playing Pokemon on Game Boy. It is not died, bro. It's just a different generation. There's not a lot of grown people
Yeah,
that are
that's what I'm
playing
saying. This
Pokemon like
space,
that.
people in this space using it as a benchmark is kind of wild. Like how many like none of us are sitting in here playing Pokemon. None of the people in here, none of the people on this space are. I'm not saying it's dead though.
Bro, I used to say that. Well, I still say it about the whole metaverse concept. Like, there is definitely a portion of people in this space that are even interested in playing a video game like MMORPG, you know what I'm saying? But most of these people, bro, don't even want to like, they don't want to play a fucking game. I don't know what they're even here for, to be honest. I want to play a game. I'm with that
Yeah, that
shit. I grew up on Animal Crossing and everything. Like, I love it, you know what I'm saying? But I know they're not.
Yeah, that is true. That is so that's a whole different story though, because there's like 90% of people in crypto, they want an NFT game or a crypto game, but I think they just want a game because they view themselves as like business people and they know that like video game makes billions of dollars a year. So they're wanting a game for the aspect of the floor price in my opinion. But I do think when it comes to Pokemon, just going back to it, you are right, Compound. None of us play it every day, probably except for Ash Ketchum down there. But none of us play it every day. But the thing is it is always in our mind. So if one day AR is on the rise and all that shit's going crazy, and there is an authentic Pokemon experience, you are going to know what that is and know what to expect. And we may have another summer 2016 and 2027. That's what I'm saying. Once it's available, everybody's going to flock to it. But yeah, right now, none of us play it, but I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh every day. But as soon as somebody puts Yu-Gi-Oh and AR, I'm gonna be there because I've been wanting that since I was a kid. But yeah, no, I was just pointing out that like last night they were talking about Pokemon. Jonah, he's doing his whole I'm not gonna even get into it, but that man Jonah, bro, he tripped me out. I can't listen to a space that he's on without like having to fact check because I'm like, bro, hold up, let me fact check this dude. And then when he was like, live service games are not expensive, that is the that is the most blatant lie I've ever heard in my life. Live service games are the most expensive because it's a lot of upkeep, there's a lot of maintenance. You have to keep the audience engaged, keep pumping out content. There needs to be a new battle pass, a new event, a new collaboration. Like there's a lot more stuff going into it than just an RPG that you just one off like a Star Wars story. Boom, boom. They play it for a couple of weeks and then they're on to the next thing. So I don't know what that guy's on, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds though. But yeah, Ash Ketchum, that's a good pickup, man.
we had the conversation the other night. I think it was Jack up here. Jack was playing like Diablo. Me and him, there weren't a lot of people in the space yet, and me and him had a good conversation about the space in general and how all these NFT and Web3 people want gaming and want this and want that, but like how many of them actually game or how many of them actually do any of that? Like, everybody wants to talk about metaverses, but how many people are hopping in on cyber or a hyperfi like POV saying and shit like that? It's like the idea to a lot of people in this space is it sounds good and they can possibly speculate on it and make money, but how many of them are practicing the shit that they say or doing the stuff that they say, right? It's more so they want the space to like move forward and succeed in these ways, which I do too. And a lot of people actually just want to speculate on it. They want these projects to push out games and shit so that their bags pump and they can speculate on it. So we had the conversation of if like a lot of people in the space talk about gaming, but like 95% of the people in the space got fucking jobs and don't have time to be gaming. They need other people to be gaming to pump their bags or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
It was a
So
good combo with Jack, man, because he games. So it was good insight.
Oh, when he was talking about Diablo, I was like so hyped because like that's the type of game that I like to play as well. Like I like to struggle when I play video games. I like to suffer. It like I don't. How do you put it? I feel like
you like a challenge.
Exactly. I like a challenge. Exactly, Shadow. Exactly.
You're the type of
Challenge
person
is
where
everything.
you'll pick up a game for the first time and choose the hardest difficulty.
That's the only way to play video games, to be honest, is at the hardest difficulty.
I would break a monitor. I like story mode, man. I just give me the story, bro. I want it to be challenging, but I don't want to sit and here's where Shadow quits, and then I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say before. Bro, so if I play a game and in I would say 12 minutes, I'll give it 12 minutes. If I can't figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go next or what I'm supposed to gather next, I'm uninstalling the game. I'm sorry. I'm not looking up a YouTube video. I'm not doing none of that stuff. If I can't figure it out in 12 minutes and I'm just like stuck in a room and I go back and forth and I'm jumping up and down, I'm trying to figure out how the hell do I move forward? You're about to lose a customer because I'm going to uninstall and I'm never going to reinstall again. There's so many games that I bought and played like 30% through, and then they kind of like let go of the reins and you're supposed to just kind of know or expect how to do the next part. I kind of just hate that shit. Just give me a mission, tell me what exactly I need to do so that way I at least know a heading. But what I wanted to say, what you were saying, Compound, with Jack, that's 100% correct. I think there's two things that are needed out of gaming NFTs. The very first thing is there needs to be a free option. And people don't think about this. Planet X is thinking about this, but there needs to be a free option to play the game. The reason why is because most people are used to nowadays being able to download a game for free. You got Apex, you got Fortnite, you got all these games that are free to download, and they're like massive multiplayer games. Um, there's obviously avenues to make money off of free players, but you have to have the barrier to entry as low as possible. And for NFT and crypto, it needs to be even lower, but nothing's lower than free unless they are actually paying you to play their game, which cough cough is actually what Planet X is actually doing. But the other thing, thank you. The other thing that they need to do, they have to have a very, very low barrier to entry, but they need to have a renting slash passive, whatever you want to call it, feature. Uh, so what you were just saying, my problem is I feel like most of the things to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, their game, is going to be dedicated towards the codas, those sentinel looking things, and the Bored Apes themselves. Now, if you have a Bored Ape, 9 times out of 10, just like what you said, Compound, they're not going to be sitting trying to play this game 24/7. But if I tell you what, if people had the ability to rent out an ape, to take advantage of, extra pieces of the puzzle or the game or whatever it ends up being, that is a feature that I think is really needed, because I feel like the people who are going to buy these assets are not going to be the actual people who are playing it, but you don't want to withhold your best asset to your game that's free to entry. Give people an option to, for 0.05 ETH, they can rent, a Bored Ape and do
Don't
whatever type of ventures they want to do.
think the ape should have any advantage in game. There could be perks for sure having them, but like having an unfair advantage would drive people away from the game. The game's got to be free. I have other side land, right? And we talked about this the other night too. Sorry if it's repetitive to anybody listening the other night. I think we got some new people in here though. The game is free to play for everybody, and I think that we can agree that Yuga probably has the closest or the best shot to push a Web3 game currently. They're the ones working on it the most, the biggest one at least. There's others that are doing it, but it's got to be free to play. It's got to be fucking fun. Like you can't. Nobody's gonna play a game that's just not not fun. It's got to be fun, free to play, and there has to be a decently fair advantage across the board, minus whatever owning the land and the ape, the mutant, or the Bored Apes maybe gives you a specific type of house, but you can't have unfair advantages that make you just whoop every other player in the game's ass. More like aesthetic advantages, more so than anything. Like, so I don't know, man.
No, yeah, we can hash it out right
I
now.
think that what's up?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
No, I was on that Kuro cadence. You never catch me fucking slipping. You know what I'm saying? You don't know when I'm done. No, go ahead, dude.
No, I was gonna say we can hash it out right now, because I actually did have my hand up in that space, Dre Miller and Kiro, for like 30 minutes, but they were, look, I know what it is. I only got 15 or 1,400 like followers. Everybody on that stage had like 10K plus. But one day, bro, I'll be in those conversations. But no, seriously, we can hash out that right now, because
Wait, what stage do you want to get on? If you just DM me next time, Shadow, and I'll make sure you get up.
Leap Space yesterday.
There's
He
nowhere
was on Leap
you
Space.
can't
yeah,
go.
it was the Leap Space yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
Leap Space, bro. You just let me know, bro. Whatever stage you want to get on, you will get on it. You don't need to have a bunch of fucking followers. Fuck that shit, bro.
Fuck
Clone
that shit, bro.
visibility, bro.
Well, I'm
Clone
just used to.
visibility.
I always put my hand up, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not getting pulled up unless
Bro,
it's
I will pull you up, bro. I will make sure they pull you up, bro. Just let me know where you want to go, and I will bring you up, bro. Fuck that. You go anywhere the fuck you want.
I'm not saying this against Leap. Like, I'm pretty sure he's like, look.
No, he just doesn't know you yet, but he will get to know you, bro. He's my buddy, bro. He's my little buddy. I love that kid. Like, dude, he's solid. I used to have to force him to get Dre and Compound up, and then he finally met them in person, and he's like, yo, Dre is too tall. You can't even give that guy a hug. He has to bend down. I was like, I am so fucking dead,
what's funny is he said it to me in real life. That exact statement.
He told me that. I was like dying, bro. I'm like, oh my god, he's so
you
funny.
too tall, man. I can't even give you a hug.
Kid. It's not that he doesn't want to bring people up or whatever, but he has to be very careful because he's had a few incidents in the past where people have abused the platform. They've come up and tried to shill like scams and stuff on his stage, so he's very careful. But I'll vouch for you because you have better takes than I do, and he still lets me up.
No, and I appreciate that, man. I just I really wanted to jump on stage last night with that Jonah, because Jonah was basically trying to tell Leap like, no, you're wrong, and I was like, no, Jonah, you're wrong, bro. I was screaming at my phone,
let's get
bro.
Jonah in here then. Let's have him come.
Yo, Jonah's always wrong. That's the thing you guys need to realize. Jonah is a guy that sits at home all day and he believes that he's right about everything. I don't know anything. I was just reading off my notes yesterday. That's why it sounded like I knew something, but I don't know shit, bro. You actually do research. I read a little bit. That's why I have notes, but I don't know anything, man.
But anyway,
I like some of Jonah's takes,
long story short, Compound, because it's really easy to hash out. I agree with you with the free-to-play part, but when it comes to Yuga, and they do have the best shot of being a AAA title. Like, I mean, I like, don't get me wrong, I believe in Planet X, but obviously the quality is going to be for mobile. They're not going to be on PC consoles, none of that stuff. So it's a totally different avenue. So it's, in my opinion, and this is not like a dig at them, it's 100% less pressure than Yuga Labs. Yuga Labs has to pour in a shit ton of resources to get it to the level that I feel like they're trying to get to. But then my question is this: the only question that I feel like Yuga needs to answer, that I don't know the answer to, that I don't know if anybody in the ecosystem that you know, since you're a holder of the other side, what is the connection? It's not. Is it a? It's not a battle royale. Is it like a scavenger hunt?
It's an
Is it
open world
social?
MMORPG to a degree.
Is
It's
a
like
what?
an
Sorry.
RPG, real time strategy. It's an MMORPG, massive
Okay,
Mass multiplayer role
so it's an
playing game.
RPG. So that makes sense.
MMORPG. Like
Okay,
Yeah.
so that
test
makes sense.
the test that we've had, 6,000 players in a single server at once. It was in a browser too. It was pretty crazy. Um, all played in a browser with high quality images and everything, bro.
That so
So
my only
yeah,
thing. Whoa, hold up, back it up. What did you just say? You said it plays in a browser.
yeah,
Yeah.
play in the browser.
Yeah,
Damn.
WebXR is the future, bro. That's
Yeah,
what that's
that's
the
what
whole
I
point of
say.
what
It
we
must
getting
be
at
that
here.
that web. Yeah.
You
Damn,
feel me?
bro.
That's the problem with all the optimization conflicts we've been having, is that people don't understand the difference between playing a game on an engine that you have to download and it can have any type of level of
So
optimization or none, versus on the web where you
yeah,
type it in the URL and it loads immediately.
and let's go ahead and knock this out right now, because the thing is, like, Jonah, he has like these takes where he's like, things are so expensive and people don't want to play these type of games. My comeback to that is this: he doesn't realize how many people will actually sit down and play a game. It just, the barrier to entry for people who are gamers and non-gamers. One, the game needs to look fun, and two, they need to be able to just jump right in. So, for instance, if we're having a conversation and we're at your house, and I'm like, "Yo, this Yuga Lab, this yada 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 game," if they can't just turn on their computer, go to the website, and jump in, if they got to have a gaming rig and a monitor that's $700 and a RGB keyboard and a gaming if they got to have all that, you're losing them automatically. But just the fact that you said it's a browser
yeah, I
using
got.
WebXR, bro.
You got to slow down for a sec. I just don't suggest you talk to Jonah until you look a little deeper into it. You know what I'm saying? So check it out, dude. I was on a MacBook in a browser on Chrome, with 6,000 other players simultaneously and zero lag. Like I didn't lag at all. I've done 3 experiences now. So I was kind of blown away with that experience. I've played a lot of games. I've never done that, anything like that. And they're gonna have a mobile version. It'll be compatible for like the phones as well. Like their work, like that's getting worked on as well. So all you really need is a browser or a phone to play it. The graphics were crazy for a browser game. I was wondering how the hell they were pushing that kind of graphics out. But this still goes back to my point is, it, I'm saying all this in a more bullish sense, but my bearish sense was the bearish sense that I started this whole conversation with was it ain't gonna be like there's not enough people in Web3. There's like 2,000 motherfuckers out here right now. There's like 2,000 people left on Twitter. Maybe 3,000 total Web3 MFers still left that actually give a shit about the space. I might just be making that number up, but it just feels that way. There's gonna need to be a bigger player base. So this goes back to the conversation. It's gotta appeal to the masses, which it's free, it's on mobile, it's in a browser. You're not downloading a game engine. You don't have to pay for it through Steam. So they're checking these boxes that I see. It needs to be fun. That box needs to be checked. All these things. I think they have the best shot, bro. Um, and yeah, dude, it's just kind of now you
Honestly, they're
know more.
like exploration of the idea that more than just ape communities and certain higher level communities will be in there. Although most of the communities they mentioned are kind of a topper tier, I think that is gonna excite a lot of people. But people have like kind of numbed their brains on the topic, I think, because whenever it gets brought up, they kind of have these like natural receptors to kind of ignore what they used to get excited by. So we'll see with time.
Hey man, I got it, bro. Check this out, bro. This shit is easy. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I've been listening to a lot of spaces with and without Jonah, people who are like very bearish on the Yuga Labs thing. I think that's going to be a big mistake. Uh, but I needed to know a little bit more information, and you guys are kind of giving it to me right now. So my first thought was, okay, what game? Because everybody's like, it has to be fun and it has to make sense, and it needs to be, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what type of game has the same type of wacky aesthetic that you would expect from like a Bored Ape Yacht Club, but is still a huge, massive kind of like multiplayer s type of game and still has a cult following where people are actually like playing it, and it's not like a MMO RPG because those are really for like hardcore gamers. I'm gonna tell you what game they want to inspire to be like, and it is this game right here that I just messaged onto the chat. And if you're a gamer, please come up and either back me up or say that you disagree. But I'm almost 100% sure, and I'll put in the here. I'll put it up top. Let me see if I
It's
can.
game for the Sea of Thieves. It actually doesn't look bad. But if you want to go to YouTube when you get a free chance, and there is gameplay footage from we've had multiple like experiences in there, and there's gameplay footage of it with all the thousands of players all at once. You could see kind of
No,
the aesthetic that they're going for. Just
no,
watch the recap
I have
videos.
seen. Sorry, I have seen that. I just was confused about the purpose of the game. Like, what is the main objective? And you guys kind of already told me is RPG. So, Sea of Thieves is personally what I think is what the type of avenue you want to kind of go down, because Sea of Thieves is a massive multiplayer, like pirate, simulator, right? Where you can get a ship, you can own a ship, you can have people come onto your ship. You can interact with other players. And not only that, because a lot of things that people were talking about is they should do collaborations with other NFT projects like Artifact and other 3D ready asset projects. But Sea of Thieves, they've done collaborations with Disney using Pirates of the Caribbean, and they're doing a collaboration right now with Monkey Island, which is an old school pirate action adventure game. But yeah, that's pretty much the sense that Yuga wants to go to, or
They actually were World of Warcraft and Diablo players. The founders were, and they're basing their MMO style off of more so World of Warcraft, Diablo style, that big open world crafting. There's crafting involved.
see
In game.
now, but that's hardcore gaming though.
I'm just telling you where their background comes, where they all met playing was World of Warcraft,
Got
Diablo style games, and that's
it.
what in interviews I've watched of them. That's what they're trying to build is a bigger, better like version of that with all the in-game trading, all the crafting, the building. Like PLV said, being able to bring your own assets in and there's an in-game builder where you can get your NFTs or your assets into the game. Like it's going to be a open world kind of concept where
Yo, Shadow. So I'm thinking, it's kind of similar to how like in I remember back in the day like playing Halo, you would like start the game and like sometimes you would have that like friend that wasn't really good at like shooting games, but they would have the most fun like in the lobby when everyone
Yeah.
could just run around and fuck around, you know what I'm saying? And I think what's going to happen here is that there's going to be like lobby styled environments where certain things are doable for the people that aren't exactly full blown, like you like say gamers. And if you heard of the game Animal Crossing, I
Yeah.
think like something like this can definitely range from Animal Crossing to Diablo,
Yeah, it can
depending on
easily
how
be
far you
mixed of
take
the
it.
two. Cause like yeah, my wife she loves she plays Dreamlight Valley and she plays Animal Crossing all the time on the Switch. Um I'm just brainstorming here like kind of the avenue. I was going the casual route, but now that he said that MMO, I was the only thing that I'm worried about is that like I guess it probably won't start off as World of Warcraft. It'll build up to World of Warcraft because, like, I played when they did the reset and they came out with World of Warcraft Classic. I played that for like a couple of months, like nonstop, a couple of years back. But I quickly realized, like, I remembered how in depth and how like everything is really, really deep, and that's why you have you call them neck beards because all they do is sit at home and they play World of Warcraft because to them is better than going out and interacting with people. I just don't know if that's how hardcore of gamers they're wanting to attract. But I guess at the end of the day, we're really going to have to see. But I see all the positives. I'm not seeing the whole, is it going to be good enough to invite? I think it's going to do well enough to where it's going to grow like a game normally does, right? It comes out, it has a base, it creates a base, and then it slowly grows its community. I don't think it's going to be all Web 3. I don't think it's going to be all Web 2. I don't think it's going to flop. The only way it's going to flop is if the game is just not exciting to play. But if they're going for the World of Warcraft style, they're going to be obviously having so much jam packed into the game. And alongside of them wanting to do events for like, they were saying Fortnite style events where you got like, Travis Scott or like Ariana Grande and everybody that has an ape, you can just like be a part of the crowd. Like that, then they're mixing and merging a lot of different worlds. So I don't really see how it could fail. But yeah, it's cool though. Web browser RAX. That RX is that's a key feature. Because I was thinking I was gonna need to play this Yuga Labs game on like my 5K gaming PC. But if I could go over to my cousin's house and pop open my work MacBook and jump into the Yuga Labs, they already like invited like 30 to 40% more people into their game just from that alone.
Yeah, dude, you can play it in fucking Safari on a shitty ass MacBook. Like, I didn't have a good computer, bro. The first time I did it was my old computer's old ass MacBook, and it was zero lag. My new computer has the M1 chip in it, and it was fucking cruising, no lag. But that I've heard experiences from all kinds of people. But regardless, man, I think they got a long way to go. I think you should watch the next fucking. I think it's called like the next fucking podcast or some shit. I can't remember what it is, but it's like the founders, they have a podcast and it's called the fucking podcast or some shit on YouTube. It's the Eucalyptus founders, but they talk to people about this other side and where they got the idea from, what they want it to be like. They kind of go into it. It might be good info for you, um, for your talks with Jonah. Jonah's dove deep into this. I saw him posting recently that he's trying to get some land in there or some shit, Kuro. I can't remember, bro.
Yeah. And my thing is,
Yeah, I think he's just fighting for the price to go lower, so he can make his entry. I don't like. I'll just be straight up. I don't trust him.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that I feel like are doing that for sure. Because sometimes people say things, and I'm like, "Are you intentionally trying to make the price go lower?" Because there's no way to prove or deny what you're saying. It's just a feeling that you have. But when it comes to Jonah, I'm not going to really be trying to go on stage and go toe to toe with him about Yuga Labs because at the end of the day, it's anybody's guess until the game actually comes out. What I can go toe to toe with him about is when he says shit like, "Oh, New World failed because of a gold exploit." That is 100% not true. Or when he says Lost Ark it's 100% an MMO, not an ARPG. You go on the website, it literally says ARPG. Yes, in English it says it's a MOBA because it's a Korean game. It's a Korean top-down ARPG game that when it came to the States, they just label it as an MMO because people are dumb here and they don't understand the difference between an ARPG and an MMO. That's like calling League of Legends an MMO because technically League of Legends is an MMO because you're basically building up a character from 0 to level whatever you end the game on, I guess 18, and you're basically going through an MMO journey, but it's not an MMO game. So it's a MOBA. So yeah, those types of conversations, he just pull shit out of his ass. I'm just being honest. So yeah, but no, with the Yuga stuff, I'm gonna just let him have his opinions. It is what it is.
He's amazing at getting people fired up. What's funny is there's some people on the timeline that swear they must have an ego that they swear that their fucking tweet has the power to move floors. Like, what kind of ego do you have to believe that your single
The
tweet
only
can,
person that has the power to move floors is Pumpisha.
bro?
It happened. I watched it happen in real fucking time.
I remember, dude. I remember. Dude, that's how we met Pumpisha. That's how we got him in the space, dude. The only person that has the power to actually move floors is fucking Elon Musk. He like tweeted that tweet, and that shit pumped so much in like 30 minutes, and then everybody got dumped on, dude. So your ego's too high if you think fudding on the timeline you're gonna fucking get a better price. You ain't moving the floor.
Just take one announcement video for everybody's plans to get just like I'm telling you right now. Artifact, I'm trying to buy some eggs under 3. Now, if I can get an egg under 3, it is yet to be seen. Every time we get to 3, like 0.32, they put out a teaser, and then that shit jumps all the way back up to 4. And then I gotta wait like a week and a half for it to slowly come back down to 3. And I'm like, all right, maybe this time it'll break below 3. And then they come out with another teaser, and it pops right back up to 4. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard.
No, dude, the only thing that crashes floors is Bad Take, Dre Millie, and Ramoa suitcases. We all know that. Anytime we know what crashes floors.
Jesus
Man,
Christ.
I need more time on them Animus eggs, bro, so they can do what they want.
Yo, he had all of us. He didn't have me tricked. I didn't like him to begin with, but that's just because like I didn't like his attitude and the way he talks to human beings. But yo, we gotta like stay away from that guy, man. That guy's toxic.
Don't post. Hey, I think everybody should post their Ramoas on the page. Like, everybody post their dope ass Ramoas on the timeline right now. I will fucking retweet every single one of them. And then Baron, if you could take a picture for me so I could pretend I have a Ramoa, since you have 2, like take 2 separate pictures. I'll like fake flex like your Ramoa for myself. And then I'll fucking pump Ramoa on the timeline too. What's
We
up, Baron?
all wake up, artifacts at under 1 ETH.
Yo, I have a render with a Ramoa that Mikey Montclair did for my clone, and I don't have a Ramoa, but I was pumping that shit on the timeline. Oh, dude. What's up, Baron?
Dude, how's the moon and the sun in the air at the same time?
I was just talking about that the other day with my brother.
What the
What
fuck?
in the world?
Baron, they're not ready for that conversation, bro. They're not.
Man, we are though. We are.
No. I just don't. I don't know. I never really understood science all that much. Like when they asked me to do a science project of like the solar system, that shit showed up broken.
Bro, I think you understand it very well.
Mr. Young Man, you must not have been paying attention. Man.
Nobody who was by our public school system is ready to have those hard conversations, Baron. I'll tell you. What's up, bro?
That thing is big, though, tonight. It's big. It was a red one. It was a blood moon. Now it's getting white. But, man, life's good. Just, fuck it. We need these clones to be underneath. And, I mean, if we're going to go for it, we got to fucking go for it. And I'm being dead serious. Like, if we're going to go down, like, let's go down.
I feel that,
low,
bro. Hell yeah.
So we can get some more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fuck. We're in no man's land right now. It's just, it's a great place to be, and it's a horrible place to be all at the same time. I express my sentiments because I don't want people to be rating their life or their decision-making ability based on what, they put into Artifact. Like it is what it is. And, it's just it's a shame. It's hard to watch. Nike's a fucking marketing geniuses, and they are dropping the ball like it's flat and hot. They don't want to touch it. They think it's Adidas type shit. It's just unbelievable.
Damn, that's pretty rough.
It
Well,
is.
that was a hot
He
take.
said
That's a
they
bad
think this
take.
shit Adidas.
And they're telling us to take lightning bolts off things that, dude, a lightning bolt is on the pants I'm wearing right now. Okay? You can't trademark a lightning bolt.
You got
Okay?
pants?
What? It
You
has
got
a certain curve to it, I guess. Sorry. Okay, hold on. I got more important things to handle right here. Give me a minute.
Leviathan, what's the news, bro? Where we give Baron a minute.
Yo,
What's good? Are you on the? That's the longest pause I ever heard.
bro, I was out clubbing. I'm faded as fuck. I had my first NFT drop today. I'm eating nuggets right now from McDonald's.
Bro, you sound way more faded than like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, he was chilling. Dude, we've had some people come into the space, and Leviathan might be the most chill one yet. Usually, when someone comes in faded, they're yelling at people about rocking a right click save clone or yelling at Baron about something. So,
Yo, that's funny as fuck, bro. I just love the space where everybody's on. I know everyone out here, and I know at least 5 people in this chat that minted my drop. So whoever is here, I'm gonna give them an extra gift on their wallet. That's right.
you're a generous motherfucker, bro. We appreciate you.
Yo, bro, we're gonna after this. You're gonna go home watch Eyes Wide Shut.
Bro, listen,
You remember
bro,
that, bro? You remember that?
bro. We did a whole analysis with Bombay on Eyes Wide Shut. Listen, bro, we took this shit to the next level.
Eyes Wide Shut is the greatest piece of cinema ever, artistic cinema ever created.
I
You know,
agree,
I've
bro.
never
People
seen it, man. I think
It's
people
about it.
don't
Never
know that,
seen it.
bro.
they don't know it, and at face value, it's hard to see. But once you get deep into it, and you remove and you deep dive into the subcontext of the subcontext, it's the greatest artistic piece of film ever. But when you watch it, tap in with Leviant and myself, and we're gonna break down the analogies for you.
Yeah, yeah, bro. That shit goes deep as fuck.
Y'all talking about that movie with the sex code in it?
With
Yep.
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Yep.
Y'all don't want me to get started on Eyes Wide Shut because I'm gonna go into this fucking crazy direction.
You
Let
with it though, right? Alone, like it's deeper than just the sex cult. I mean, first of all, the cinema of it and the
let alone.
artistic cinema of it is just absolutely stunning. But we can go deep into it. It's Kubrick's
Bro,
best work.
you can watch this shit in slow motion. All right. And every fucking scene tells a whole fucking story, bro. That's what's up.
First of all, can we pin Dark Data's post, because like what the fuck am I watching right now? Like what is
Bruh.
Yeah, man. What? That shit's okay.
Bruh.
Yeah, let's do that.
can we
I can
can
talk
we talk
about
about
that for
that? Because like
sure.
I still don't get like how he did,
Bruh.
like, bro, what is going on
No,
right now, bro?
they are ahead of the curve,
Bruh.
bro. Because I be keeping my eye on that AI stuff, and they got a grip.
He been killing it, man, for months. Like, that's the thing about how our whole artifact creator ecosystem, like, everybody's so fucking crazy dope that it gets buried under the next dope thing that just dropped. Like, Dark Data was coming out with stuff months ago, did some fire crazy video months ago. Then it got buried under the next person who came through with the crazy fire video, and the next but he keeps coming back with this shit. It's bananas, bro. It's bananas. He's supposed to have a video drop today at 9 on YouTube, but he had it pre-scheduled and has some technical difficulties, so he's going to have to push it back to a later time. But I'm looking
That's
forward.
okay, bro. You gotta let this one marinate,
It's
dog. Like
crazy.
the way the face is moving,
I was fully immersed,
Euro,
bro.
did you see this shit, bro? Like POV, bro.
Bro,
Word.
I put that in every group chat I'm in today. And I told, let me
Hell
read
yeah.
you the message I sent all these idiots.
So there's no
Y'all aren't ready
sorry, I'm
for dark data. Clones are the future. When we hit, it's RIP for you guys. That's the crazy messages I've been sending people all day.
so does Artifact Creators pump that? Did they retweet that
Bro,
out? How does that
probably
work?
not, bro. Like, I don't.
Did it drop?
They got to get approval from this guy and that guy. It's a whole mess here,
They
man.
usually collectively put them out at one single time, right? Like they just did the other day.
Oh, like when they update their
Like
site?
they did yesterday. Was that yesterday? Or maybe 2 days before that. They did
Yeah, they
and
did
showcased
retweet
to
it.
everybody.
They did retweet it. I still
Great.
think that Artifact creators should just blend in with Artifact because there's just not that many people following Artifact creators page. Because this needs like every eye on it as possible and like a fucking documentary about what he's doing.
Yeah, I just was like, so I'll just go to that page, like 'cause it's so hard to find it on Twitter, like, and I haven't
Yo,
seen
you know
so
what happens, bro? Someone does something cool as fuck. Like a clone will do some cool ass shit, right? And it won't get the right coverage. And then someone else will get inspired by that and then do that shit and then somehow push it the correct way. And like we can't really allow that. You know
Facts,
what I'm
facts.
saying?
That's why we step up. When it came out earlier, I put it in the group chat, the Bad Take group chat, just for the specific reason. If we see something and we know it's fire, fuck waiting somebody else to push it. Fuck waiting for somebody else to steal it and recreate it. Like we as a community can push that shit out, and we have the power in numbers, man. So everybody fucking retweet that shit. Like everybody quote tweet that shit. Like that's what we are here for, to push these things out.
I know how I
So
found that.
how do you do a quote tweet?
I found that video because Benito retweeted it, so I saw his retweet. So I found. But video is
Wait. You guys don't have notification for dark data? That's the wildest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yo,
Dude,
POV is a
I was gonna
fucking
say the
legend,
same
yo.
thing. Like I have, I'm blown away by the fact that I will tweet some stuff, and he has like 1 or 2 likes on it. Like I was at work, I saw it, I saw Dre post it, I couldn't retweet, but I liked it right away. Like you guys saw the video he did with Jace, Anya, like everybody. Like he's been putting out, and he's actually been building this whole thing with his clone for a little while now, and he's been adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, and now the whole thing is ready. Like man, we've been talking about Nvidia and Artifact and them dropping the AI, and this man went and did it already.
Do you,
He's kicking off a channel, and like we're over here talking. Man, anyway, don't get me
Twilling
started.
it.
yeah,
Like
like
this,
No,
yo,
get started, Tevi. We need to hear this, bro. You need to fucking lay
listen,
into us, bro, about this.
like there is some ridiculous work being done, and people are losing their mind over what Artifact is doing, not doing. This is the stuff we should be pumping. Like, and I know we have to talk about stuff, but look, I see stuff like this, and I'm like, people are building. People are building. They're showing. Like I'm getting inspired. Like this is why I wanted my clone. This like because you can incorporate the AI stuff. You don't even have to be there. You can have this run on its own. Put your input, let it run. And the cool thing about Data, honestly, is like you can reach out to him, and like I reached out to him and asked him some questions, and he's been just providing knowledge. No questions asked. He's so this is what I'm saying. Like when creators are out here doing the most, like we need to be supporting them. We want to make sure that we're not ignoring and glossing over whatever when this type of stuff is being built. And I know we all feel some type of way, but we can be ignoring or just looking over, when stuff like this pops up. Like this is why I know for sure why I joined Artifact, right? Like, to push the limits, see what can be done. And I'm gonna put it this way: some random guy showed up took the clone, got it fully AI powered, probably months before the main team is doing this, and this is not all over the freaking timeline.
Yeah, and that comes from the top
like
too.
what
Too, you know.
like what are we doing? What are we doing?
What am I
What are
watching?
we doing?
But wait, is
What
this
are we?
utilizing that technology that the other
Yeah.
homie just dropped not too long ago?
I don't know how he did it. I know when I asked him, he's like, yeah, he's been doing stuff manually, and he kind of gave me some stuff that I was like way over my head. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna start looking into a couple of the apps that he talked about. But yeah, what he's saying is like it's fully AI driven, comes up with fascinating topics all by herself. So I mean, this is some next level stuff. Like this is some next level stuff. It doesn't even matter like if you don't like the type of story it's spitting out, but it's more the fact that it can do it. Right? It's like if you think about what you can leverage and what you can do with this, if you learn how to apply it, like this is massive.
Bro, Tevi,
Like
man, literally, bro, it's huge because this is one thing I'll be thinking about a lot is how, all right, so we got this community, and then we got the 3D assets. Everybody has different skills, and y'all know how like we got the clone tools created by Bev, like came in clutch as hell, and he just decide to do that on his own. Well, that's like a form of like developing and programming. And with a lot of these AI tools, it's like the clone that's being used in this development, depending on how it was done, but more than likely, it's able to be switched out between different clones and follow a template. And like, so what I'm getting at here is like, if we could continue to like extremely promote collaboration between different skill sets within the clone community, we like imagine if we had a clone tools that incorporated an AI tool where we could drop our clone in and it could do specific type things. Because I've seen these AI tools getting worked on the back end and a lot of little personal discords I hang out in, and like they're really not that hard to get a hold of when there's a proper UI built around it. And I think a cool UI definitely could get created with the help of a couple different people, and it doesn't have to exactly even go that way, but it's just to like kind of demonstrate how it advanced this type of stuff is and how we're like right on the cutting edge of everything.
this is wild. POV. This is freaking wild. Like this is the stuff that you sit here, you're watching movies, and like Nvidia gets on TV and has their keynotes, and they tell you about how they're gonna power their next gen games with like AI. It's gonna be self-learning, all this and that, multi-billion-dollar company. Meanwhile, again,
We're over here.
you have a guy who literally just dropped the damn thing on the timeline, and it just got glossed over
No, for real,
because
we're like kind of
it's the
breaking the
new moon
matrix, bro.
and whatever. Like I don't know, man.
It
So
shows you how people hype. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a huge grid of spectrums when it comes to AI. But what's been done here, what Dark Data did here, is like you said. You see these companies hyping up these things, and then you see what someone with like a determination and patience and endurance can do too. And you see that it's coming from our community. It says a lot for sure because it matches up
I
to the
love
rankings.
this stuff, man. Like I love this stuff. Like, listen, this is why I'm in Artifact, and why like I keep saying, like I've said this before, it blows my mind what people are building. And the fact that we all sit here, right? Like everybody has their own little skill set that they're pushing, things that they're good at. And like you have this massive pool of people that you can tap on or just be inspired by that you otherwise would have never met, right? Like for one, because we're in different places in the world, that is the real utility. Like I said, I'm not saying all this because I don't think things are, I don't think like everything is perfect, but I feel like this is what the community is about, right? Like being able to build and see, get inspired and see all these things, especially while there's nothing, big coming out of the main account. Like there's all these cool things that are happening that we have to amplify and, and just just do and learn from. Like, I don't know, like I love the whole AI thing and being able to utilize that for your YouTube channel or your business or whatever, and being connected 24/7, but you physically not having to be there is huge for any business, any venture, anything that you're trying to do, whether it's music or whatever. Like, this is that next level. This is that next level. So I don't know how he did it, but I watched the video, earlier, and again, I was at work, so all I could do is just tweet and answer him, and I didn't want to do like a basic retweet or whatnot. But this is big. Like, that's some next level stuff. So perspective is everything. I think
So, Tevi, how can we get
these
more
are.
eyes on this? Like right now, the only comments are CloneX, right? And like pretty much our community. How can we get this into the eyes of beyond just our community, right? And I think it comes from the top, personally. Like I like an artifact creator retweet is nice, but like the artifact main page has got to do something. Has got way more reach, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you guys something straight up.
Yeah, go ahead, Kira. Sorry.
Popping on Instagram. If they were to like post this on Instagram, it would go crazy.
Crazy.
Like on Instagram. Crazy. Just, I don't know if you guys have ever checked out their Instagrams. Their Instagrams are wild, bro. The interactions and stuff that they get on Instagram is crazy. I don't even like, yo, they're popping on Instagram. They're not really that popping on Twitter, to be honest. I'll be straight up with you guys. I feel like there's nothing really even going on Twitter. We're just here because it's an easy way for us to communicate, pretty much.
Yeah, bro, the culture is not here, bro. Like you saying, they came from fashion, they came from dope shit, they came from flexing, posting that shit every day, wanting to show that shit off. And I'm knowing about that for sure. Like, that's where I came from. And like, honestly, whenever I post like my renders of my clone doing fly shit, I like to like repost one of like their posts in between it in my story. So when people see my little render, they're like, oh, what's that? Then they go into the Murakami shit. They connect the dots. Normally, that's when I start to see all the normies that would have never been curious about it DMing me like, wait, what's this shit? Oh, okay. Yada yada. And yeah, no, Curl, you right on that shit, bro. Like, I don't know what we really using Twitter like a telephone. Like, this is like WhatsApp or something, bro.
Twitter's convenient. We use it because it's all right here, spaces and news and information and the timeline.
And the
And
group chats.
yeah, I don't want to see a bunch of fucking
Hey, my
travels and shit. I like Twitter because I don't have to scroll and see people trying to flex on fucking Instagram every second picture. That's why I love Twitter.
yeah, man. It's funny how said or whoever said like a phone because my wife all the time. Oh wait, sorry, somebody still talking?
No,
No,
you're good.
you're good.
Sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Go ahead.
Shadow, what the?
Yeah, I don't think anyone. Yeah, no
Never
one's
mind.
talking,
Never mind.
Shadow.
I
This
thought
is
my
all
wife was
you.
going to say something to me. She walked in, and I just muted because I'm used to her trying to talk to me. I was just trying to say that my wife says, I'm talking to, my guy friends, and it's just like, it sounds like, a phone call, like, this, we're just trying to conversate, transfer information, and, just chill. So yeah, I hate, I mean, people can flex all they want to. It's all good, but I don't want to just jump on an app just to constantly see flexing and, see girls like, hey, I'm out here living my best life. Like, I mean,
We
that's
gotta
cool.
remember though, mass onboarding. Like, we are a super little niche, but majority of the world runs off that popping my shit type shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that's got to be considered to some degree. So I don't know. I think it could do, because we're pretty much asking people that like to flex to come here, but I feel like it's kind of what we thought was going to come with Threads. We kind of thought Threads was going to force us to go to them and force them to come to us, like a middle ground. But it seemed like that shit fell off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I think it plays both, like on both sides of it. We got to hold ourselves accountable to understanding where they come from, even if it's a little bit ignorant, and they gotta hold themselves accountable to know that we talking about some elevation shit over here, and like if they want to step it up and find something out, they might have to get hit.
Twitter actually has an algorithm for crypto slash NFTs. Facebook does not, which is why Threads did not, which is why we were posting into canyons and nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Probably the people that were looking at our tweets were like, what the hell is this? Who is this guy? Why does he have a cartoon as his PFP? Twitter, I mean, as much shit as we give Twitter, they at least have an algorithm that respects the interests of the people and it puts them into these little sub bubbles basically. So even if you leave your bubble within a bubble, like if I were to drop all artifact everything, it would still show me like Bored Ape. It'll show me like all these other quote unquote crypto NFT influencers because it knows what bubble I'm a part of. It won't show me sports or something crazy ass random, but Threads, it seemed like no matter how much you were messaging or posting about your interest, it just was not catching the hint. I don't know.
Threads is booty, bro. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, dude. We're in our own little bubble over here, guys, on Twitter. We're in our own little bubble. And then Artifact and Clones are in their own little bubble as well, as you see. You gotta break out of the bubble, and I don't think NFTs and crypto have figured out how to break out of their bubble.
I just gotta say this. I came back. I was texting, and all I heard was, "You got to break out of the bubble." I was like, "What the hell is this man talking about?" So,
Tevi, we get
you
it.
got to be careful.
Out of your bubble, we got it. We know. We're working on it though. We're talking about the and NFT bubble that Twitter has us in comparison to the rest of Twitter. But don't feel like I was targeting you, bro. There's something on your conscience. What's up, Groove? How you doing, bro?
Good evening, Bad Take.
Good evening.
It seems to me that the best way to get out of this bubble that we're in is to piggyback on some of these big launches. So if we've got some of these shoe deliveries coming, I know I keep bringing up unboxings, but I wish Artifact would provide some kind of guidelines for our creators and help get us out of this CloneX bubble with their creations. Because y'all are putting out some killer stuff, and I think it'll be a combination of us, the community helping, and Artifact pushing this content out.
I think it's a good take, bro. And kind of segue off of the take is I see a lot of people do kind of go onto the bigger accounts, or a lot of the posts they seem relevant, and they're posting people's content or their own content. I think that's important as well. I don't know if y'all remember, but before we had this like kind of more this group that we've been working on, Bad Take, and just kind of the trying to bring the community together. Twitter was a mess, bro. There was like no cohesion with clones. There was no clones and spaces on the timeline. It was like Kuro on every stage, by himself with a clone, and then our only other space was Clone Conspiracies. Like that's what we had. And shout out Kuro because he's been fucking in the trenches repping clones for multiple years now in the big stages and on Twitter. So I know we all have, but like this dude has been out there putting in that work. But I think that we're getting better, bro. And I think that I agree with POV. As much as I think that I've never had any value given to me from Instagram, I think that he's right. It needs to be all over every platform because every platform has its different niches, its different value that it can provide, and different audiences, right? And I'll tell you, the majority of people who are on Instagram, they were like me before I found Twitter. They just don't fuck with Twitter. I'm not going over there. I don't want to go to Twitter. Like, what do I need a Twitter for? That's how I used to be as well. And then I kind of realized that I like Twitter a little bit more. But it's important to cover all. And why maybe they should get that TikTok kicked back up. Didn't they used to get like millions of views on shit on TikTok? Get that shit fired back up. If we got to get in Facebook groups like Shadow, sounds like he's a big Facebook guy. We'll get Shadow out there in the Facebook groups. Get Shadow on Facebook Marketplace, shilling clones. Let's fucking go, Shadow. I love that. I love that idea.
Hell no. Yeah, my sisters, they do all of the posting um for the big brother. Because honestly, my sisters get so much free shit from athletic companies and all these companies that want them to post because they go on vacation like year round basically, and all these companies they pay for it, they send them shit and all this other stuff, and yeah, so they are 100% invested into their social media followings, and they got hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff. But my thing is, bro, I was over that shit even before high school. Like when I was in high school, it was no Snapchat, it was none of that stuff. I was actually getting bored of Facebook. I was like, bro, the only reason I'm using this shit is because everybody else is using it, and I'm not trying to be like that dude that don't have any social media presence. But once I got done with college, and met my wife, all the other stuff, man, I was like, bro, fuck all this shit. So I let it all go. I just stuck with YouTube and really Facebook for just family and friends, but I have no Snapchat, no Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media platform y'all got, I'm not on. I'm on Twitter now, and that's about it. So yeah. It's just boring, bro. I'm sorry, it's just boring. To me, it's
What?
boring.
Facebook?
Yeah, bro. All of this stuff is boring.
My grandpa would say otherwise. You fucking kidding right
Well,
now?
if I was a certain age to where I could not just go down the street and hang out with my friends, like I call people. That's the other thing, right? I hate texting. Like I just hate texting because communication flows easier through call. So brothers, friends, everybody, I just call you. If you don't answer, I leave a voicemail. And then they want to be like, "Yo, we still have it. I left you a voicemail." Oh, I don't listen to voicemail. Everybody texts nowadays. I don't know, bro. It's just too much, man. But
You
yeah.
damn kids in your text messaging, kids in your Snapchats, god damn you, your digital collectibles.
I swear I don't listen to voicemails, man. My dad used to do that a lot, and he gave up on it.
Bro,
I
I list the whole everything in the voicemail, and then I show up and they're like, "Oh no, bro, I didn't listen to it." I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on, bro?"
Yeah, I don't listen to voicemails either. It's 2023, man. Text me, bro.
Man, I can't remember the last time I listened to a voicemail, even at work.
My
Like I don't even
brain
know
is
how to access
programmed to
my
ignore
work
it.
voicemail.
I
I'll call
tell my
you
So
back.
not to leave
yeah, you
voicemail.
either get me on Teams or send me a text or whatever. Like if you send me a voicemail at work, it's just not gonna happen. And in real life too. Like that basically
Call
just
you-
went into the void, get
I'll-
lost in space.
and have you recap your voicemail. Like, yo, missed your call, my bad. What'd you say? I won't listen to the voicemail, but I'll have you recap before me, like when I get a hold of you.
100%. Yep.
How I do it.
That's how
Bro,
I roll.
nowadays iPhones they will caption the whole voicemail. You ain't gotta listen to it. I don't know
I
what.
don't, I
I
don't even
can't
want
lie,
to
they
read
do
it.
a bad job at it though. Most
Hmm.
people leave really bad voicemails.
Not mine's, man. Mine's gonna be informational. It's gonna be to the
Bro,
point.
I believe you, bro.
So
I
it's
won't
gonna
even
be like
read it.
He
written.
he probably writes a thread and then reads it back to you in his voicemail.
Yeah,
And
bro.
like he has
Hey,
Voicemail should be eliminated.
you
hey,
It
guys,
shouldn't be an option anymore.
you guys don't know, but I use dictation for everything. I hate texting. If I can't use a keyboard, I hate texting, especially on a phone. So even my threads, most of the time, it's all dictation. I'm in my notes and I'm just talking, and then I'm editing as I go, but I'm not typing it all out. I think that's maybe what it is. I just don't like the. Yeah, I just don't like that.
I mean, you speak really clear, bro. I'll give it to you. You got a very like enunciated voice.
Well, I appreciate it. But hey, before we go too deep, I did want to say this about the price of CloneX. Everybody that's bought today under 1.4, that was their first clone. Some of those guys, they had an egg in a ship before they even had a clone, or they got their clone and then they immediately went and bought an egg.
So, although yes, the price is going down, like we talked about the other day, price is going to go down, it's going to go up. It could go underneath 1 ETH here in the next 3 months. We could all be under 1 ETH. But the thing is I think the people who are picking clones up today, I'm pretty sure they're going to be long-term holders because these are guys that probably waited for the price to come to them, and they've been waiting to enter into the ecosystem, and they're loading up throughout the whole ecosystem, picking up ships, eggs, and vials, all kinds of stuff, man. So we'll see where things go. But yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna say what Baron said though. I'm steal that from him. If we're gonna go for it, we need to go for it. Like, don't baby step your ways. Just full on send it below 1 ETH. Just send it.
Yeah, just don't be putting out these little half-assed tweets to get the people like buying these things now. Just wait, man. Just let it go. Let it go, and then let us get some more, and then we roll. I don't know. I don't think it takes much to get like I said earlier. It's no man's land. It's going to go to 1. It doesn't. Maybe it's like at 1.25 or something, but like 138, it's not staying there. It's heading to
Well,
1.
but
I mean,
Yo,
it's
Dre and
close enough that
Compound.
it doesn't even make sense that it wouldn't drop below, right? Like, it's kind of like when it's like Bitcoin, like sitting at, you know 20,000 for a little while there. Well, we knew it was going to drop below. I mean, you might as well, right? Like, you're close enough, like 21,000, just drop under, and so that's what happened,
one thing I will
So,
though is everybody is still heading down. Bored Apes is heading down. Mutants are heading down. Like everybody is just on a slow trend downward. So it's not like it's just us. I mean, we focus on it because it's our platform, but I mean, hell, we have been legit mirroring Doodles like one for one. We've been within like a zero point 0.1 of an ETH always with Doodles in the last like 4 months, and they're down as well too. So it's not just
well,
us.
best believe I'm watching Azuki. I am watching Azuki, like the OG collection, But I got priorities, but I am watching
Well,
them.
hold on, because CloneX is 20,000 and Azuki is 10,000. So really, if you times our price times two, oh well, they're still above that, but still,
I mean,
um,
if you throw in the elementals, then they have a lot more out there. But it doesn't matter. Listen, all I'm saying is Azuki sliding, and like I'm watching. That's all I'm saying.
I'm buying more clones.
Oh,
so
I'm that too.
I actually
That's
buy a
I
clone.
have priorities. I have a list that I've made, and I'm not gonna tell you all that's on that list because things have to slide. I might tell Dre though. I might DM Dre and DM Comp and be like, because I know they have power over the floor price. And I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
shill more of my. I'm gonna shill my Remo bag.
the Rimowa
I
back.
know, and because I think that does help. And actually, I actually think it does. Listen, because last week I posted about my bag, and then the price dropped a little bit. When I came back from Mexico, Tijuana, I posted about my bag, and it dropped a little bit more. So I think there's something there. So I'm going to do it.
Why wouldn't they get
Right.
these bags in the hands of these fucking athletes? Travel all the time, man. They're constantly on the road, and Remo didn't let Artifact seed bags. What,
There wasn't that many of them.
dude? They could make as many as they want, man. This project has to
Not
grow. We can't
when,
just. What? Why does it?
not when the. I mean, I get what
They
you're
could have
saying, but the
minted their own. They
collections
could have.
start at
There's so many
888.
different ways. There's so many different ways. There's so many different ways. There's no fucking plan at all. Until I see it, until they speak of it, there isn't. I asked them what their plan was. They said, "Well, we were just talking about it the other day." It was like a fucking month ago. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't smell right to me. I don't get it.
They
Once
seeded all.
help me pass my smell test, Shadow. Like
Well,
what the
I
fuck?
was told, I was told people don't want these bags. That's what I was told. So
Yeah, right, dude.
Heard the bags drop the floor price. That's what I was told.
People don't want the bag.
Yeah,
What do they want?
after bad take, we need to have a little chat compound and Dre. There's something I need to talk to you guys about. It's kind of worrisome, so I'd like to talk in private.
Bro, that's like when your girlfriend like hits you up and is like, "Hey, we need to
Hey, we
talk,"
need to talk.
and then won't tell you.
Bro, I'm about to break up with Artifact and go floor all of my fucking Nike shares after what I just read. So I'm just gonna be straight up. I need to know where Benito's head's at, and he doesn't talk to me very often. He doesn't respond to me, so he'll talk to you guys. But I'm about to go psychotic.
Full moon is full moon and all over again.
Yep. When it rains, it pours, dude. I'm telling you, this shit doesn't smell right.
Well, this is the thing, man. Right? And this is the same conversation we've been having all day. I'm going to reiterate some of the points. One, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? We don't know what's in
Oh, it's
place.
nothing that
Well,
they
no, no,
did.
no, no. Let me finish
It's
what I'm saying. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's in place, right? So to answer these questions that you have, specifically Baron, that you're speaking of, about the bags and why weren't they minted more, why weren't they seeded out, I understand your perspective and where you're coming from. But at the same time, again, we don't know what's in play. All we know is what we know. And us sitting here being stressed out about the what ifs, they shoulda, they woulda, they coulda, will only leave you stressed out. Like Comp said, we had a conversation. I spoke to him earlier today and was talking about the shoes. You know, I come from a different perspective when it comes to the shoes and about the play that could be made or the potential things that could be done. But even I don't know what's happening behind the scenes on what is being done. So I can't sit up here and point a finger or yell, cuss, and spit about what I don't know. So again, reiterating the point that I made, let's just sit back and ride. And if it gets to a point where
Fine, but
what it
they
gets
came
to,
to
if it
me.
gets to a point, if it gets to a point where it is no longer comfortable to sit back and ride, there's only one other choice to bring back the peace that you're searching for right now. Let it go. Like that's all we can do, bro. I get what you're saying, and you're making valid points. You really are.
Yeah, I know, but me saying it doesn't mean like I'm not going. I've already said I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not. I'm at full peace. But what I'm telling you guys is, we sit up here all the time. We talk. We wait. At some point, it's like, do I'm trying to put my foot down and say, enough's enough, And I want more people to say that too, because it's bullshit. We've been doing this for 12 months of waiting around, acting like things are fine. They're not fine. They freaking rugged the monolith on us. Kuro can't get answers. He wants side conversations. The community leaders that are here don't know anything. They're being kept in the dark. Seems like that's purposeful. They hide behind NDAs. It's a joke, and I'm at peace with it. But I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to go quietly. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? I'm not, I'm going to sit here and say, what the fuck? Because I know that if Nike if it were to be publicized that this went on and Nike did this shit, it would be a big problem. There's enough people here that have lost enough money, right? And had enough things go on that were completely sideways and misleading and bad marketing tactics. They have a fucking problem on their hands. I'm telling you. And that's why I'm talking like this. And it's not because my piece is off. My piece is straight on, dude. I feel great. But when I come on here every day and there's just stuff that these people are pouring their heart and soul into, we got creators building and doing really cool stuff, and Artifacts giving nothing in return, it's BS. And that's what I'm here to say. And I'll be here continuing to say it until they do something that is material in nature. They've done nothing recently
Recently,
at
and
all.
like this, and this is another thing that happens too here. Like you said, recently, if nothing is being said or stirred up within like a 2 to 3 week time frame, and it unusually falls with the phases of the moon. So this full moon joke is more of like a joke with that. The best jokes have
Yeah, I can laugh.
the seriousness
Yeah,
tapped into it, right?
yeah,
If
no,
it's nothing that's being done and
funny.
people get restless until they get that dopamine hit that they're looking for of an update or a movement or whatever.
Dude, but
It's
what
all
we've been
part of
dealing with all year is
it's
shit
all
that
part of the
that's
same
what
process, man. Like
I
you
get it.
say, if the
I
piece
get
is
it.
there, let the piece be there. But for real, you say you're gonna put your
But
foot
dude,
down. Our feet aren't big enough to move shit.
they're down. Mine are. Mine are going to be trying to be big enough because this is where there's only so many people here, right? My point is that all year long we've been talking and dealing with stuff that we paid for last year. Last year. Now we are on things that were supposed to be delivered this year. M. Murakami pill, animus eggs. None of it has happened. So we are now on the topic of talking about what's right now. Okay, and that's all I'm saying. I appreciate your role in trying to keep the peace, and I appreciate your role in being honest because I truly feel it, right? But I'm telling you, they they told us we would have stuff. They came out and they said they're going to do a pill for the freaking community. They haven't done it.
Wait, but not
What a
yet, bro.
dude!
It's still
Who
being worked on as we
Not yet.
speak. That's what I'm saying. And the same
Yeah,
thing with
I know.
Animus.
I
No, it
know.
was no specific
Yeah.
date given for Animus. Said by the end of 2023. We still in 2023.
Actually, they said Eggtober is what they
What,
said.
but what did they? What context did they give with October? There are no definite answers to any of these questions. It's just a lot of assumptions, and it seemed like that's the same thing that keeps happening here. Is a lot of assumptions are made, and a lot of people they make their own decisions based off of these assumptions. Sometimes they become over leveraged, like Kuro said yesterday, which was a joke that he was trying to say it, but it has some realness to it too. A lot of people are so over leveraged because of the assumptions that they make as an individual, not based off of solid hard facts, but just their assumptions. And then their emotions get tied into those assumptions, and it turns into conversations like this. So, what I'm saying is, because people made certain moves that they chose to make, it does not mean that someone else is owing any of us anything. This MK Pill situation was something that they just brought up out the blue. We didn't pay for that. We didn't invest in that. It would say, yo, we're gonna do this for y'all because we appreciate y'all. We're gonna look to do it by XYZ. And as we know, shit happens. There's no other project that's tied to a conglomerate like Nike. None. And none of us work for Nike. So we can't speak for Nike. We don't know how things work on the back end with and for Nike. These are all assumptions and emotions that are brought up from those assumptions, which I understand, right? They're warranted. Some are. Some of your points are warranted. But at the same time, keep that in mind, man. If people became over leveraged because their own individual choices and the assumptions that they placed on this project, the only person that you can truly be upset at is that an individual. That's it.
But this is you're bringing it back to money. This has nothing to do with money. This has to do with communication, miscommunication, misleading, and when you aren't clear about a product, it leads to bad assumptions. We've had the experience already. They've said they were going to learn that we like mistakes because we get to learn from our mistakes. They haven't done anything to learn from their mistakes as far as communication. Frankly, I think it's because there's not much to communicate about, and that's where those are the types of statements that I will refrain from making because that's an assumption that has, no weight. But right now is we're we're the stuff's being shipped on the right. The shoes are coming, right? But all they keep doing is teasing eggs, and there's like no conversation about it from them, and it just like, why don't they just come out and say we will be with you at the end of Q3?
I mean, well,
So
that's pretty much what Cass said the last time that he did tweet information
pretty
that they put
much
out.
what
No,
Cass
it
said.
is because it was no definitive terms with that. But
Yeah, man.
to go
This
back to
isn't
the
you
original point
can't
that you
grow
made
this.
about me saying this, I keep bringing up money. I only brought up the money part because you said we bought this. This is something we bought into. So the point that you're making is stemming from a financial decision, and that's where these emotions are coming from. Honestly, for real, people
It's
only.
actually my
Well, I
time.
mean, and I
It's my
respect
time.
that because time is money, right? I respect that, but I'm saying at the same time, people want to know what's going on so they can make a better financial decision. People want to know about eggs so they know, oh shit, eggs is coming. Let me jump in it right now, early, so when it comes out, I can use it as a better financial decision. Like we got to call a spade a spade. That's why people are so emotional about what's happening right now. If you was just enjoying the ride, you wouldn't give it. You'd just be sitting back and riding because there's nothing else you can do. But the fact that you're looking for a financial leverage and a financial edge, that's what's stirring up all of these
That's not it,
uneasiness.
dude. What are you talking about? I'm not. It's not about financial things. They said that this thing was coming, and they haven't given updates. They say that they take our notes and that what we say impacts their moves, and they haven't done anything to show us that. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about floor price. I'm not talking about any of that. Zero.
I think what I've learned with Animus, at least, is that Animus was dropped obviously free to all of us. I bought one extra Animus. I'm not really investing to it financially. I don't really give a shit when it kind of gets announced. But what I've learned, I believe, is that Animus is being built, and this is like an artifact thing that they've done since I've been in, is they'll release an NFT and then maybe that has its own budget, and that project's being paid for by maybe the trading royalties or being built in advance. But I know that one of your big quarrels, Baron, what you said in the chat was that you want, like, if you're gonna let us claim Animus, like we should be revealing like right away. But I don't think I've ever seen an artifact thing that has been instant reveal right away. They release it and then they build hype throughout the time. It's just kind of like their MO, and I don't see that changing. And I don't know if it's the right way to go about it, but it's not. Like, I've seen people unhappy with it, like you're saying as well. But I think that's what Animus is. They gave us the eggs. They're allowing us to speculate on it. They're allowing us to hold it. They're building out the lore and building out the art, which I'm sure takes time as well. And it's just a different way of releasing something, right? A lot of people will give out free claims and then you're revealing next week, but I've never really seen Artifact do it that way. It's always been like a delayed kind of situation.
And this is also like we brought up the same point through many previous conversations we've had, right? Like the artifact strategy. Us getting into this project, I'll speak for myself. I can't speak for anyone else. Me getting into this project, myself getting into this project was built off of this type of execution, right? Where I didn't know much about things. I just knew it was something that was going to do something and let go of something in the future. I can understand after certain events, people losing their trust and wanting to have more communication. And I can agree with you on that. That's something that has been lacking for a long time now. So I can agree that I would enjoy more communication as well. But since I haven't received it, to keep my own stress free environment or keep my environment stress free, it's just letting it go. Yo, ain't nothing I can do. My feet are only so big, bro. You said you want to put your foot down. I know my feet are only so big. It's only going to impact so much. So why stress about it? I can definitely put the comments out there like you're doing. That's what I said in the group chat. I appreciate just even being able to have these type of conversations because it does help. It does let people know that there are still people who are invested in this, who care about this project, and are looking for having a more political change happen on the back end where we can receive some motion in some type of direction. So I appreciate these conversations. But the end all be all for me is we can only do so much as individuals, and trying to overstep only leads to more stress. So I appreciate you.
Hey,
I
I
appreciate you having this conversation. I appreciate you giving your insight and your perspective. That's what we need as a community in order for that community to grow.
Yeah, man, I love this thing. I do, man. I do. And I have faith in it. I don't know, man. I hate coming from a place of like feel like I have to like be in this situation to get answers or to get action, but it's just like it seems like nothing else happens unless you raise your, you raise these topics. And we talk about so many good things as it relates to Artifact and how excited we are about Animus. Like, I would say that 90% of the nights that we sit on here is all like just bullish talk about Artifact and how excited we are. So, I would say that, the time we spend, or I'll speak for myself, the time I spend in these moments is much less than the times that I spend in the other. But it's almost like when I dial out, it's like the frustrations build because it's like, holy cow, this thing is so far from being anywhere close to ready, from my current seat. But I'd love to hear. I see a lot of hands, and I'd love to hear everybody else's perspective. And I do thank you guys for you all for hearing me out, because it's not like I have the answers. It's just me just talking about what is really going on in this space. It's hard to tell what's going on the timeline, and bullish on Artifact, but and extremely excited, which adds to the desire to learn more and hear more. I know they got a lot of talent there, and I feel like I'm bad at waiting. So, anyways, I'll go on mute.
Baron, I know that we've had these conversations before, me, you, almost in spaces before, and I just want you to know that I always appreciate your takes. Me personally, and we're gonna get to the hands right now. Me personally, back in December, I decided with all my projects, Artifact, Yuga, I decided that I wasn't gonna let their tweets or their announcements or their hype dictate my either happiness or excitement or whatever. I disconnected my endorphins from whether or not Yuga, Artifact, or whatever projects I'm in dictated like whether I was getting an endorphin rush or not. And I did that in December, and it's fucking helped me. Now I just don't really care. I've got the bags that I want, and now I don't care. But I know that these conversations that we have with you is coming from a place of passion, and you actually keep me pretty grounded, bro. So I appreciate you. But I don't know whose hand was up first though.
It
Let's
was
go to
Kuro, then it was Rose, but let's go to Rose first because
Oh, okay.
let's go to Rose because she's a girl, and we gotta give ladies first.
Thanks. It was hard to keep up with our bad take chat while at work today, I'll say. But I only have one clone. I'm 4 days away from my clone anniversary with my clone, and I only have one clone because I don't know what else I'm going to buy into. Like I have, like Dre mentioned, I bought it for certain financial expectations or incentives at that time last August. And so as things had changed and transpired, I promised myself, like, I'm not going to buy anything else from Artifact until I know what I'm getting. So I got the Air Force Ones because I know what I'm getting. But in terms of like investing more, like I'm investing my time, but even still, as I was trying to do the onboarding plan and onboarding space and just trying to gather all the, different bullet points and whatnot, I actually paused. That's why I haven't been as active. But just there was a moment where I just felt like, wait a minute, all of these key launch dates, key informations, things that Shadow has been wonderfully like trying to stitch together for us. I just thought, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I'm doing someone else's job. And the fact that I'm on another Web3 project in marketing, and the fact that I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be fun, but I'm now sinking a lot of time where it is not my job to do so, but I'm trying to find that right balance because I want to be helpful and provide some value to the community by, sharing the information. So I think a Notion doc, thank you, Baron, for all of the FAQs you had shared. I mean, that's an easy, lightweight thing that we can kind of crowdsource and add to just to kind of have a home base, if you will. But there are things that I think if you set expectations with your communications, you have to follow through in it some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, your credibility bucket is just going to get emptied over time. And so I think it's great that we're talking about it because for a project where we're super bullish on the founders and their vision, not so sure about execution if it is always going to be a 6-month wait for something. And if we're always going to be funding for this next pet project, I don't think that's actually appropriate because of how much they had raised initially. So I think there's a balance between, yes, the whole corporate thing. I work in the corporate world. Things move slow, but not doesn't have to be this slow. But I do appreciate that if it is more complex, trying to design and curate a special experience and moments will take more time and effort. And I have no doubt they are learning as they go, through each of this, and especially with Animus. But I think time, especially in the bear market, it just gets extended. Where in the bull, right, everything is super compressed and feels like, a day is like a second. But in the bear, everything feels drawn out. But I'm hoping we have Anya, we have Cass. I, have faith they're passing up the notes and whatnot. But I would agree that we haven't seen that much change in terms of formal communication, just outwardly, either on the website or just in, I don't know, spaces and whatnot, just about updates about what what they're working on and what's next. And there's a catch up period, so I can appreciate how for the folks, especially Tevi, with your season 1 order, if I hadn't bought anything, I got the free T-shirt and then that's it for me. If I had bought, I would be so anxious and nervous and really honestly like pissed off because like my own self and my temperament would not be able to handle it, because it is a lot of money. It's also just valuable in terms of the items because we care about it so much that we're eagerly anticipating. And yes, logistics and all of that, but you don't go out and launch a collection without planning some of those aspects first to figure out how you're going to fulfill. So for me, it's a little bit mind-boggling how it is dragged out, but I'm not in it in that financial sense for many things with Artifact. I'm really here for the community and to try to grow as an individual, whether it's being a creator or just being a community member with you all. But appreciate just the conversation. But I think also just the general support for one another because it's the bear. It's pretty sucky. And I think we all have high hopes that we want to be fulfilled ASAP. So as much urgency that the team can do around comms, that does not equate to the same thing as urgency in delivering and executing. I think we would like the two to come together, but just even in comms, there should be more, in my opinion.
Amazing take, Rose. As always, I love hearing your voice. I love your perspective on things. And I love how you came up here with just straight brutal honesty. And I agree. I do agree with everything Baron and Rose is bringing up. I kind of attack it my own personal way. I deal with it my own personal way. Like you guys know, I like second clones, right? I understand what they are. I understand what they do. I have my free secondary kind of claims and airdrops that I got, but I haven't really like mentally or financially invested much into any of the side quests, right? Because as we know, they're still getting built out. There's lore being built around them. I stick to what I know, kind of the clones. And to your point, Rose, you do freaking put a lot on your plate, and I agree. A lot of the things that you were trying to take on are probably graphics and things that should come from the top down. Though that kind of infographics and information should be put out by Artifacts for us to easily kind of teach people with, right? Like we could give it all to Shadow. Here, Shadow, check it out. This is all the stuff. But instead, Shadow had to dig through Twitter. I think that is stuff that maybe I know you want to take it on, but you're right, 100%. That should come from the website or something like that. So I appreciate your tech. Kuro, my dude, what's good?
Yeah, sorry about me freaking out earlier. I didn't read the entire context of what this idiot person sent me. I misread it because he cut off the dates intentionally. So I thought it was something recent. Obviously, we have a bigger problem here with people that can't respect women in this space. I think is sickening. They need serious help, man. Like, I have a mother, I have sisters, I have nieces. That stuff really upsets me because yeah, I don't want to go much more into it because it's not a good topic. But I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do about this person on my own.
We always appreciate you, Kuro. You're like a warrior on the timeline for clones, dude. Straight up. Go to battle for us, bro.
Bro, I helped him get back his account. Now I'm gonna take it away, bro. You don't treat people like that, man. It's disgusting, man. It's absolutely sickening. to hear somebody like read somebody talking to another human being like that, man. I don't talk to people like that. Even if somebody doesn't like me or whatever, I don't disrespect them. Like you guys were there for that other incident. I didn't disrespect the guy. He said what he had to say, whatever. I just don't associate. I still support what he's doing for clones. I just don't follow him and I don't associate with the guy because it's not worth my energy, right? I just was confused. I thought there was some support coming from the higher ups, but obviously he manipulated it or photoshopped it or something, so I couldn't tell what's going on in the messages. And it's just like that stuff sends me because like we have to have a certain level of respect for another human being. If we can't do that, nobody's gonna want to come here, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No amount of communications will fix that. I just let's get them.
Oh, I'm not gonna communicate with him, bro.
No,
It's
I'm
war
saying,
for me and him now.
I'm saying artifact communications. Dude.
Yeah.
We're on. Yo, dude, because if we don't have each other, then we got nothing. Like literally, it is.
Yeah, bro, we have like zero issues here. Like we're here 5 days a week, conversing with each other, and like it's like we need to like realize too, like there's always going to be bad apples coming in and out. I kind of freaked out because I thought that there was some sort of support for this like type of nasty behavior of this individual, but he just is trying to manipulate me because he knows I'm going to flip out and I'll floor all my shit if there's any support for him. But I just blocked him. He blocked me actually. I didn't even get a chance to block him because I think he realized I'm gonna flip out now on him. It's a good thing he blocked me because those messages that he has, he doesn't know. I know a Twitter engineer, and I'll just get his accounts canceled now. So
Welcome to my world.
good luck to
Welcome
him.
to my world, Kiro. Like, you know what I mean? We've been through it. We're here together now.
Is it a full moon or
You gotta
something?
let it go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I haven't been smoking weed, right? So I'm already on a little bit on edge. I might just smoke some weed later on and
I've been
cool
smoking
down,
a lot
but
of weed.
after I get his account suspended.
A lot.
A lot.
Oh, a lot.
Dude,
I've
been clean. You know what? I need a workout. That's what I need. I need to work. I've been spending way too much time with family, and it's not my direct family. It's my
I'm working out this blunt.
my mother's fucking brother and sister. I am ready to. That's where this is all coming from, guys.
Gotta keep it zen, man. Why you think I'm out here on this bike? Why you think I'm on these hikes? Why you think I'm in the gym, bro?
Dude, I gotta work. I've been working out with my trainer on Zoom. I got one at 7:30 tomorrow morning. I've been hitting it hard, but man, I hate bad communication. That's what I'm seeing going on with this family. God, man, they got everything. They got the world by the balls, and they're all just complaining. It's just.
Baron, you got to tell us before you're going to in-laws' house, bro, so we know like what to expect. We didn't know that. No, we got to get.
I paid for dinner, got up and left tonight.
No, I see now. Shadow, my dude.
Wait, before you going, man, we had Jonah in here. I sent him a message to come through. He came through, but we was talking about this and he left. So I'm gonna try to get him back in here and we can do that.
Yeah, I saw him. I sent him a little emoji. But bro dipped out. I do want to know some of his opinions on things.
They don't want to hear us bickering back and forth like a bad family.
Why has he got to come in here for that?
I mean, that's what happened when you talk about these things in public spaces, man. You end up having people come through, visiting, hearing shit, bouncing out. That's why I said
It's not anything he doesn't know.
Can't put your dirty laundry in the air. But no, I'm gonna try to get him back in here so we got this conversation.
Yeah, you can, man. Yeah, you can. It's not anything he doesn't know. Everybody knows exactly what's going on here.
Shadow, what's good, bro? Or we'll go to Tevi since.
Yeah, just go to Debbie, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, I went in reverse order. Debbie was first, but go ahead, Tevi, man.
Yeah, man. I was like, okay. I mean, I can handle Rose because Rose Jade. But then my man Kuro went before me. I'm like, come on. And I know exactly what he's talking about too. So, anyways, Shadow, thank you for acknowledging because Complex, you do me dirty like that all the time. But we're not gonna talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
No. I actually got a few points that I do want to make because I've heard a few things, and I'm like everybody else. I'm gonna speak for myself. Number one, bat takes should be pulled in and should have a little bit more insight to what's going on. I would say that's a terrible idea, and here's why. The last time that somebody got pulled in to what's behind the curtain, we basically lost anything they could actually say. So you like the ability to come out here every night and have discourse and talk about things and have people express what they really feel about whatever, and feel that they are actually genuine in their answers and replies to you, then you want to keep this as its own little beast. Like you do not want to attach that to whatever the core team has going on and whoever is in like that. Just no, keep it separate. So that's point number one. And not that I don't want Comp and Dre and Rose and everybody else that's in Bad Take to like get on the payroll, but if you do that, then you lose the ability to have just independent, full-on, transparent thoughts about whatever is available and can be talked about without immediately associating it to like, is that what the team is talking about? Is it not? Like, what do they know? What do not? I think it just adds complexity. So noted that in my personal opinion. Number two, what people love about Artifact was basically earlier on the business model that worked in 2020 to 2022, which is, drop a teaser, be mysterious, push that, hype it up, all these things. Yeah, that was fantastic until Monolith happened, and then everybody lost their mind. And then now we don't want that anymore, right? Like everybody's scarred for it. But the reality is, my reality is, you can't turn that stuff around overnight. I mean, that was like 2 years or more, actually, if you go pre-Nike, and that's how I think about it. If you go pre-Nike acquisition, this is how Artifact, the founders, came to be, right? And like build a name for themselves. Now it's no longer a small business mindset. Like we're trying to turn this around or actually level up and go full on. So it's not going to be perfect. And now that, the Model X2 happened and everybody got burned and whatever, it's going to take some time to put the right structure in place to address all the concerns that have been put out there, siphon or sip through the what's valid, what's not, what was driven simply by the fact that people were over leveraged versus what's actually true concerns from people who are here and are going to be building with a brand moving forward. And for everything that's being asked, amended, and pushed forward, what can actually be done in a reasonable time frame? So even though I know a lot of people feel like this is taking forever and silence is deafening, can you like how for whatever they're putting out there, it takes it's going to take some time for it to be polished to a point where they feel comfortable. And again, this is just me speaking for how I think about it, for them to feel comfortable coming out and putting that message out. Because the first thing that's going to happen the second they break the silence, right, and me included, is every little word that they're going to put out, I'm going to scrutinize, because I'm going to want to make sure that, okay, like these are all the items that are out there that we've been waiting for answers on. Are they addressing all these little things? And if they're not, or not even addressing, like kind of saying, okay, we're not really going to talk about this right now, it's going to be later down the road, like that message needs to be out there at least, right? So nothing is getting left behind. And that's how I'm going to know that, yeah, they actually have listened. But this idea that we should put our foot down, and again, bearing like no disrespect, this is just how I think about it, right? And I think we've talked a little bit about it, and like putting our foot down, or putting my foot down right now and supporting that and going down that path, I think will do absolutely zero nothing. Why? Because they're not ready to talk. It doesn't matter how much we yell and scream and kick and do all these things. That's not going to change the way that the Artifact team is going to operate and run this at this point. I think it's good for us within this forum right now to have that discussion because, again, we all feel some type of way. And now that we know that you're kind of dealing with in-laws and all that, that there's a little stress added there. But you're not the only one who feels that way, right? Like, I mean, and I'll be frank, I was in the chat earlier, talking about my season 1 gear. That has been a pain point for me. And not so much because it's taken this long, it's because of how long it took, and now I'm having to make some adjustments to ensure that if they do announce something and now I'm not in a position to reception it, I have to make arrangements because they took so freaking long. Now, the flip side of that is I have never ran a company on that scale, at that level, try to coordinate with a brand new factory with special materials and all these different things. So, as much as there's a little bit of frustration because it's inconveniencing me, I also recognize that what they're delivering on and why I even signed up in the first place to be here is because they are offering something that I've seen no one else provide. And therefore, some grace should be given. Now, that doesn't go on forever. It's not going to last forever. But until we kind of make it across to the other side, which at some point they break the silence and we find out what happened or what's going on, it's I feel it's kind of pointless. And similar to Comp and some of the other people, I decided that for the most part, like things until they come out with more concrete information, like it doesn't really help. Like I said, my frustration only comes from the standpoint that I have to make special arrangements now in the event that they decide to ship my stuff. And that to me that's the frustrating part. If I wasn't going on vacation, I was going anywhere, be like, all right, well, it is what it is. We're just going to write it out. So anyway, that's one thing. And then the last point is around communication, right? We keep talking about more comms. There should be something in between. But again, this is how I think about it. If they come out too early because we're kicking and hollering and they drop a half-baked message, I think it does a lot more damage at this point. We all get hyped. The videos are beautiful, everything. But where did the whole conversation land? Hibernation and incubation. What does that do? And they couldn't tell us. And we saw our own little footstorm around that. So at this point, for me personally, stay silent as long as you need to until you're ready to communicate. But when you break that silence, you better come with it. Like it has to be on point. Like the grace that is being given is because I will speak for myself. I want to trust and believe that they've heard the last 10, 11 months of all that feedback and they're actively going to address it in the way that we move forward. But what's been done in the past, that cannot be changed. So, I mean, everyone's free to, continue to push for more until and hopefully think that it's going to change how it's done, but I don't think it will. And so you can either accept it or be loud about it, whatever works. But personally, for me, the choice is I'm going to wait. I'm going to give them the time that they need to figure it out. It'd be cool if they came out and said, all right, we've been working on this for a while. We think we will be ready to communicate at this point. But if there's no confidence in them being able to deliver on whatever date they're going to put out, it's better off that they don't say anything, because if they come out today and tell you something and they don't deliver, it's just going to antagonize and piss off people even more. So I think it's the best solution at this point, in my opinion, is to fix it all, or at least get a solid plan so we're not repeating the past, because that would have been not listening if they come out with a half-baked plan again because we're kicking and screaming. So that's my truth. That's my piece. That's where I'm at. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, nothing's coming out half-baked. Nothing's coming out half-baked. I'd love to have them say, well, dude, we're working on this thing a few more months. Like they used to say, we're in the lab. It's like, okay, But then they posted this picture of fucking Animus, and it's like felt like we were rolling again. And we got an emoji. And it's like, why the fuck do they do that? Just don't do that.
I mean, let me
I
jump.
think they have to be able. Sorry, Shadow. I think they have to be able to do that. I think they have to be able to like
Well, you
put
just
out
said
these
that
little.
they shouldn't do that until they're fully ready.
No, well, I'm fine with a picture. They didn't come out with a picture and said, because again, for me, and again, this is just for me. I'm fine with the sketches. I'm fine with like, Zap or Benoit or Clegg putting pictures of Whip and things that they were working on. What I don't want, is that tweet that you're talking about of, hey, we're in the lab, we're gonna have this, I think by this date, we expect around this time. I don't want the around or by this potentially kind of maybe. No, do the whips, let it out, because I think like I said, they're creators, right? There's things they're
So
excited
I
about.
guess
They
we're
have
just
something to post
opposites
about it.
there. Yeah. Well, see,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
learning
and
something
that's
ever new.
yeah.
I'm completely opposite. I'd rather have them say that, because then it's like true price discovery too. It's like this whole thing is like, it's like they don't want to take the air out of the sales. It's like, well, fuck,
I mean, the price is
it's
low right now.
no, I'm just
Because
saying, like, it just if they're honest about it, if they say, look, we're going to be grinding for another 3 months or at least or whatever they want to do, they don't have to give a date. I'm not asking for a date, but I'm glad to hear your side, because it shows that you know, like
this is why this
my
thing is
glasses just
complex,
aren't
right?
seeing clearly right now. You know what I'm saying?
This is why this is complex, right? Because you have all these different personalities that want things in different ways. And again, I keep saying, and I know that some of us are like either run businesses and or lead large teams or in management, whatever it might be. You have different personalities that you have to account for. You will never be able to satisfy everyone. So at some point you got to figure out how do you put that solid message out there that at least is clear to your vision as the person leading that project. I will say I, being on the other side of the fence, not leading this project, then decide if what I got makes sense or not. And right now, I'm choosing to still be around and let them cook. I want them to get what their vision is on point. So when they come out and talk about it, when they get questions, they can address those points that goes along with the vision that they have. Their vision has to be crystal clear. I do not want them to give into pressure because people are hollering about whatever and come out here, give us something to appease the noise, and it's still a half baked vision. Like, I didn't buy into clones for a half baked vision. I bought into clones because they're super innovative. I think they're going to be what leads like the way forward. Like, we drop NFCs into clothing, right? And now you're seeing everyone do it. That's the kind of leadership and innovation I'm here for. So if they need the extra time, it's still 2023. They need the extra time to get Animus right. That's what they told us at GaySci. Hey, be patient. We're gonna have to work through this. Cool. When we had town hall and we asked about CRLs, they're still on track for August. That's what we said. Cool. Like, those are the things. Like, I'm fine with that, but I don't want them to come out and say potentially going to do this or it's potentially going to do that or we think it's gonna. Now when you come out and now you've had 11 months to cook it up and do all these things, the how, when, how, whatever it does, what, all that stuff needs to be laid out. That's a big part of what I've talked about. I know Rose has talked about, like, if you're running now a brand, this is a brand, this is no longer a project. That was like 2022 and before, that was project mentality. If they're a brand and Nike is behind them and they have the resources, they need to build like a brand. So when you come out and you're talking about your drops, whatever it might be, all that stuff has to be laid out so people can, know what they're getting. But that type of structure takes time to put in place. And Monolith 2 happened late last year. To make a massive change in how you operate things, it does take a year, right? Like, cut Web3 out, realize that this is still tied to the real world. It does. So that's what I actually know from how I actually run things. Myself, if they come out and it's still the same, you know, mismatch way of doing things, it's going to be like, man, we love the innovation, but you have one of the best companies in the world with marketing and, you know, IP and how a business should be run, and you're still not able to get it. Like, what is going on? I think at that point, a lot of those conversations make sense.
Chevy, I
Yeah.
think you're right. You make a lot of good points. It kind of comes down like there's this, the margin for error in Web3 is fucking none. Like if you release the dopest shit, but you fucked up one little tiny thing, your margin for error, like you just can't, right? So I agree with you. I think Baron has had amazing takes tonight, and your take is right, is completely right too. Like if you're gonna release something, if you're gonna drop it, it's got to fucking hit, and you can't slip. You can't have a fucked up contract. You can't have a wording wrong in your tweet. Like the margin for error in this space is just so small. So I agree. I want to get to these hands. I want to give Shadow and Ellen some adequate time before we got to wrap up. Shadow, my dude, what's good?
All right, I'm gonna be quick. I know me and Tevi can be long-winded, but I'm gonna do my best to be quick.
You're
And,
better
but
than that? Let me just smoke that
No way you guys are long-winded. Since when?
way.
bro,
You're gonna go
but
faster.
Hey, let's both raise our hands. Let's both raise our hands. I'm just kidding.
but in order for me to do that, it's gonna take a quick dialogue with Baron, and then I'm going to close up with my example, and then I'm gonna be done so we can go to Ellen. But if
What?
people jump in, it's gonna make it go
Sorry.
longer. So I'm just
All right.
out there.
Go.
Compound, start the shadow timer. Let's see what we got going.
I'll
All
tell
right.
you right.
So Baron, so here's the thing, man. And I say this genuinely. Everything I'm about to say is genuinely. I have to come at it from a totally different angle because I have no base to speak upon waiting, pricing, none of that shit. Because I've been here for about a month and a half. So for me, everything's gravy. For most people, probably, I mean, hopefully it's okay if I use your name, but POV and Rubsy, everybody else that we've all gotten our clones like recently, we're all chilling, trying to dissect everything that's going on and try to get integrated into the ecosystem. So if you told me everything's coming out by the end of the year, I'll be like, cool, like I'm just chilling. But I'm coming at it from a different angle. So here's what I'm going to do. When it comes to you, you're just basically wanting communication. Is that correct? Or is there something else that I'm missing besides the communication?
Yeah, I do not want a half baked product. I know that's not what they do. Everything they've delivered thus far is fucking dope. What Tevi said last, and I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be quick, is run it run it like the business that you are working underneath. You
Yeah.
have a senior SVP title. Like, run it that way. Okay.
So,
Sorry.
yeah. No, you're good. I just want to make sure before I go on that I got it correct. So I'll say this. I am running from my past of Web3 digital collectibles because I was a part of a community, a part of a team that was number one in giving out digital assets. And I'm going to tell you this, where it all started to go wrong. It started to go wrong when they start giving time frames. When they started giving time frames and people started buying up shit because they wanted to flip it on other people and all these other toxic bullshit that was going on, when they said we're going to have this mechanic out by Q2, we're going to have this out by the end of the year. Hey guys, we're still working. They did these weekly community updates. They were giving so much information to the community that it all imploded on themselves. And people were caught holding bags. People were caught being told, hey, that feature that we told you about is actually not coming anymore because of regulatory purposes. These IPs like Disney, like Marvel, they don't fuck around.
They change on a whim. They make it impossible for these IPs to give concrete dates on when things will come out. And when certain things are supposed to come out, they would want to withhold them until something else that they have can also come out with it. So I've seen how this shit can go wrong. So I say all that to just say, well, as far as the giving, I actually love that it's just random ass emojis or random ass pictures. Do that shit. You already gave us and told us that by the end of Q3 or by the end of 2023, if we don't have the pill, the animus egg, everybody has their clothing, if nobody has all that shit by the end of 2023, then I say, then we need to start bringing it up and start bringing on the pressure. Until then, I am fine because I get PTSD even from just listening to these conversations, because this is how it always started. It started with, hey, where's this? Hey, why are they not doing this? Hey, and then what the leads decided to do, instead of sticking to their guns, they decided, hey, the community wants us to give them an update. Let's give them a graph and let's increase the graph level of this temperature gauge so they understand how close we are to getting things done. And what people did is they treated that like the gospel, and they were like, oh, Batman such and such about to come out. I'm about to go spend $20,000 on this Batman. And then 3 months later, they will say, hey, actually, that's been scrapped. So I will say that's to say, because of Nike, I will 100% say there's probably so many changing dates with certain things, they can't even give us a, hey, it'll be even in this queue. They have told us, though, by the end of 2023. But I will level with you with this. As far as it goes to information and how new people can find out, you and Rose are right. Although I like to be the speculator and get things together, I should not have to do that so that way people understand what's going on. That should be their, in my opinion, their number one focus is to make sure that people understand what's going on. You can't have a spider web where it's all over the place, right? But I think there's more important things that are more, how do I put this? There's more important things that need to be done now before they even get to fixing the website and all this other stuff. So I'm not expecting that soon, but that is a big issue for me at least. And then my last point, and this is my last point, we all need to understand this. Throw financials out the door. If you don't care about floor price, fine, but it needs to be said. Even if Artifact communicates and tells us Animus is coming out in October 1st, we're going to start doing lore October 1st. The clothes are going to be done by the end of this month. The pills are going to be done by next week. And every single other thing that's on everybody's list, if they communicate and they land all those communications, this is one thing that we all need to recognize. Animus can come out on October 1st. Obviously, the floors will pump like hell the weeks before. And then October 1st comes out, and it is everything that we have hoped for, and all the innovation and the build upon is there. And then 2 weeks after launch, everything crashes. And there is nothing else to look forward to other than a Monolith X and Skin Vials, unless Skin Vials came out beforehand. So, and I say that for a very important reason. In this type of market, me personally, if I was at the helm, I would not even be thinking about trying to release Animus right now. We've seen really great projects release shit, and the shit just goes. It nobody gives a fuck because everybody wants to just make money. They don't care about innovation right now. They care about saving their bags right now. That's all everybody cares about. So me personally, I would hold my diamonds close to the heart and wait until market sentiment changes or just sentiment NFT changes, or until I had a very good build up to Animus. And whatever, however the dice lands, however the card lands, fine. But we have to at least acknowledge the fact that once that shit drops, even if they do everything that we want them to do, there is still a chance that that shit just flops price wise. And we all just have to accept that. So that's all I just want to say.
Yo,
man, that was fire. I
Shadow
agree.
cooked, bro.
Yeah, dude,
Shadow.
you're right. You're right about everything. I don't have that experience about what you had, and I don't want to go down that fucking road. And so, don't give us a timeline. Make it easier for people to figure out the ecosystem and cook until they need to cook. Um, I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Shadow.
If I learned anything in crypto, that with projects, when I was in DeFi, I was helping manage communities for this one project, and giving a hard date is one of the hardest things you could do, because if you miss that hard date, like the FUD is way more substantial than if you didn't set a date and you set a time frame, kind of like a frame,
A
right?
hundred,
And talking about quarters, he's talking about like the end of the year, so it's
dude.
like a big old. But y'all made good points tonight, though, Baron. You don't discount the points that you made, bro. I think that the communication needs to step up significantly. But it also raises a question. I would love to get like a SEC experienced lawyer in here that has gone through like what these projects should and shouldn't be saying on Twitter that could potentially um, like cause rising or falling of floor prices, right? Because then you get into these legal issues, and I wonder if because they used to be really lit on Twitter. They used to say all kinds of shit. They used to pump. You guys remember? I wonder if they had like a sit down with Nike and was like, "Yo, here are the lawyers. This is what they're saying. If we want to be good in 3-4 years, when SEC comes after fucking NFTs, if we want to pass their tests, then this is what you need to stop doing. While the rest of the projects are to get these reprimands, we need to stop this right now." And I wonder if that comes into play. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying that, like, I'm sure there's been some sit downs with the Nike lawyers, and it's like, yo, y'all can't be tight. Y'all can't be putting this shit on the timeline anymore. It affects floor price, and when it affects floor price, you're now manipulating something that people perceive value from, and now you're manipulating, these assets in a way. So I don't know, bro. That's just another thought I had. But Shadow, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No. I know we're gonna go straight to Ilan, but I just wanted to say you're 100% right, Compound. And when I say that I'm running from that, you guys got to understand. I had to block Vivi. I have 132 different people blocked. I was a moderator for this community for 2.5 years. That's where I'm coming from. And I've seen it from the highs all the way to implosion. And I can tell you the exact moment where things start to go wrong is when everybody got off of the high of this shit is so cool and everybody wanted to become a businessman, and everybody wanted to start. I'm not saying that that's what we're doing. I'm just iterating what they were doing. But where the leads mess up is they over communicated. There's a fine line between too much communication, no speculation is left. They were just telling people straight up, like, we're in August right now. They would say February of next year this is coming out, and this is coming out, and we're working on this, and with our token in December this is coming out, and this is a graph that you guys can follow so you can see how close we are to these targets. 80% of the things, they never hit the target, because they would come out on a Twitter space and they would go, hey guys, that thing that we told you that was coming out in January or February, well, the partner Disney, they have another idea. There's another, how would they would say it in a better way than that. They would basically say Disney wants to go a different direction. So instead, we're going to give you this other IP and this other mechanic we've been working on, and we'll come back to this Astro Boy. And then it would never come up again. And then people were like, yo, what happened to this? What happened to that? What happened to... Everybody was so confused because they were over communicating. But what you learn is IP, they don't give a fuck. They like Nike has the best intentions. At the end of the day, Nike don't give a fuck. When they say something's gonna come out one day, and then they change their mind the next day. Now, and I say this as I don't talk to Nike people, I don't know. I just know IP. They were working with Disney, Marvel, we were working with brands, and these guys would sit and they would go, that is a really cool idea. And you really thought this well out. But we think instead of launching it this summer, we think it would be better if we did this during Valentine's Day. But we would have it ready. It'll be ready to launch. And they'll be like, no, we're going to do this during Valentine's Day because on our Disney line, we're going to be doing this thing with Lady and the Tramp.
And since these are like dogs as well too, yeah, we're just going to save all of this. Cool. What's the next thing you got? That's how those things work. And so people were expecting something to drop, and then we have to then come out and be like, oh, sorry guys, we're going to actually do it this way now. So it's better that they don't say shit until that fine line is signed and we know things are ready to go.
Yeah, because we've been there. That was like some of year one almost. So yeah, appreciate it. I mean, you're dead on. Fucking psyop right here. Shadow psyop.
It's corporate
Dylan,
world, man.
my dude, the man, the myth, the legend himself. What's up, bro?
What's happening, man? I stuck around because I wanted to tell Baron that his feelings are 100% valid. I want him to know that he's not the only one feeling those feelings, and it's important. It's important to get those things out. People deal with these things in a lot of different ways. A lot of people have different perceptions on the way things are going, most especially when there's sort of lackluster comms. A lot of people read a lot into what isn't being said. There's a lot of interpretation of omission. So it's 100% important to feel those emotions, Baron, and it's cool to come in, to be able to have a place like this to come into and voice them and have other people sort of tell you where they're coming from, to not just help you wrap your head around like where other people are coming from, but to feel okay about where you're coming from. And I think I say this because the emotional attachment that we have to the Artifact brand is important, and that's why you feel the way you do, is because you are emotionally tied to this brand and you want it to succeed. You want it to be to be the optimal self. And I think that there's a lot that can be done that allows that to come to fruition, that doesn't necessitate giving dates on things or launching things prematurely. Like, we want to be a part of this brand, and there's a lot of ways for them to pick some low-hanging fruit and give that to this community, whether it be a creator challenge of 2D art, which was teased and never heard about again, whether it is mini quests that they could very easily set up, put a small team on, whether that is the release of some footage of what it takes to like some behind the scenes footage of what it takes to get the AF1s going. We want to be taken on the journey of a brand. That's why we're here. We're not just here for the next IP drop of Animus. Like, we want to get in the nitty gritty of it. And I think that the fact that they haven't done or given a lot of low hanging fruit is unfortunate, because there is definitely a wave of uh, flow that they could allow us to tap into and really align ourselves with the brand much more so than we already are. And that is being a part of the building of this thing, all the little pieces. And that's just retrospective shit. Like you said, they're delivering shit right now that that they promised last year, and that that's fine or whatever, but like, have a production crew follow you around with cameras, and whenever there's a lull, like, produce some video and like drop that shit and say, like, allow us to sort of get a little bit of what has happened in the past in the creation of this brand, so that we're able to emotionally connect. Because you know what sucks is when people detach, right? Like, there are a lot of people that that are kind of just like, fuck it, I'm just going to sit on my hands and wait. And that's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. There's a lot of things that could be done that would be adequate for a continuation of dopamine, I guess, for lack of a better word, for the community. And whether that, like I said, is some sort of challenge or quest, that could be filler for the meantime between like the big drops, or whether it's behind the scenes footage or whatever. Like there are things that could be done in the interim that allow people to feel connected. And right now, like, I hear you. I feel very disconnected, from the team, and that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate when you're trying to build a brand in a way that they're building it. That you have people that are just kind of like fuck it, um and maybe maybe they'll come back in and get reinvigorated when the next drop happens. But that's, I mean, that's in the future. It's unforeseeable how people will react to a potential future drop, whether it's going to be rad or not. So yeah, man, I think that's an important lesson for a lot of projects to understand sort of the flow of releases and what they can do in the interim to sort of facilitate a more connected flow to their community. Because everyone knows that the community is hella important, and if you don't facilitate that community vibe, you can have people that drop off, and it's sad to see. I know we've seen a lot of people drop off, and it's not just because of the bear. Like, that's a compounding issue for a lot of people. But if people do feel like, if people felt connected, more connected to the team, more connected to the brand, they I would think have a less of a propensity to just throw their hands up in the air and walk away. Because, well, that's all I got for now.
No, Alan, that was beautiful, dude. You're actually one of the most passionate people between Clones and Azuki. So when you're feeling something and you're speaking from the heart, I suggest people listen, right? Because Ilan only speaks from the heart, and you could tell he's got some true feeling in there. And I agree, bro. I agree. I agree with a lot of that you're saying. I think that the way that I manage it is that that I've managed Web3 is, like I said earlier, is that I have learned since or late last year, I just have put my happiness and my endorphin rushes on things that I'm doing and things that I'm building in the space, rather than relying on any of the projects that I've invested in to bring me the happiness or the endorphin rush, right? Like, I'm out here for the people that I'm connecting with, networking with, and building with, rather than that. That's how I have managed it. But everybody goes through life in different ways, bro, and everybody takes on this shit in their own personal ways.
Yeah, I think that, but I mean, you make a super important point, and there is there is that important aspect of community creation in Web3, because what ultimately these teams and projects and brands do is they give you tools, right? Especially the IP plays, and most especially Artifact, right? Like, there's nobody out there that's given the community more tools than Artifact. So yeah, of course they want the community out there doing their thing, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's impossible for them to throw a challenge in here and there, just to get the community amped, and to incentivize that very thing. Because, like, you're very much a self-starter. Like, obviously, that's you create a bad take with Dre, and we're all here, and that's fucking rad as fuck. But there aren't a lot of people that are sort of self-starters in that way. I mean, like we were talking about a minute ago, like everyone sort of um, you know uh, has their own way of going about this thing. And so if a team sort of sees a larger or enough people in the community that need a little bit of incentivization. I don't think it's beyond reproach to just be like, hey, all right, here's a little challenge. Like, go utilize all these tools, and you guys, run with this shit, and we'll drop you a rad NFT for whoever wins, and everyone's stoked.
I agree, bro. I think a quest master, hire a quest master, just put out quests and challenges. Like, I'm excited for that 2D challenge. We got some dope 2D creators. I just visited Elle and took care of her dog, and I can't wait to see what she puts out. I'm sure Rose Jade will put out some 2D work. So like, I'm excited for that challenge. I hope that comes soon, right? Give people something to do. I think Baron has a reply to this, but then we're gonna jump to Alone. And then
Yeah, no,
we'll never.
I just wanted to quickly thank you guys for Bad Take. I don't ever want to. It's like you don't ever want to air out laundry, but it's like you don't have it. Sometimes easier to like talk than type, and maybe that is why it's just important for there to be a space where on your cast just on there for us to bitch at them, and that way it doesn't sound like it's your stage or your brand. I don't want to. The vibes of Bad Take are good vibes. You know what I mean? And they always have been. That's what's brought us this far. That's why it doesn't feel like when I look back on how much time it's been, it does feel like it's gone by fast, honestly. Which is so counterintuitive to the discussion we just had. So appreciate you guys letting me stink up the stage a little bit today, and I feel better. And I honestly didn't feel bad coming into this conversation. It's just that when I read like stuff throughout the day, it's like I got all these thoughts, and then I don't want to put them down on paper because it's like, I don't know, you know where I'm going with this. It's just so much easier to talk. So I appreciate it,
dude. This
I mean,
space always had an open fucking convo, like kind of policy. We just always jumped in here, and actually, I started like Bad Take from the fact that everybody was hitting the timeline with their frustrations and they didn't have a place to vent. I said, fuck it, let's jump in spaces, Dre you down. Let's run a space. People got shit to talk about, people got shit to say, but we don't have a place to do it. Right? There's spaces all day, right? But they have formats, they have curricula, they have things that they got going on, right? But there's not spaces on the evening where you can jump in and you're fucking frustrated with something, or you need some help with some shit, or you're just anything, bro. So that was actually the whole reason, because it was hitting the timeline and it was getting super toxic on the timeline. I'm like, wait, yo, voice, people can get their points over better. You can hear tone, you could hear how someone's talking. Over text, bro, you have some shit that like you may misunderstand somebody. So it's actually the reason why this space started, bro. Was actually so because the timeline was just getting a little toxic, and we needed to. Some people needed to talk some shit out,
Yeah, that timeline would have been
so
dirty
bad.
today.
Hey, that timeline around the time this space started. Oh man, I don't know why I just cussed. Let's go Alone.
So yeah, about the moon and Eyes Wide Shut. No, I'm joking. I think
why is it in the sky at the same time as the sun? Tell me that. They ain't ready for that combo. They ain't ready for that.
No, I mean I'm not even ready for that convo right now. But I think you said a little bit of what I wanted to say, Compound, in terms of just I think it's always good to focus on what you can do during these times, because that's an important thing. And I think it's important, the relationships that we have here, that we build, and that we're establishing like kind of rapport between one another, and we're able to have these conversations and make friends and kind of appreciate everyone for the different perspectives that they have. But that's kind of where I was going with it. But also, as to what I think Shadow is saying, I mean, this bear is far from over, in my opinion. So I think in some way, shape, and form, there has to be some kind of mitigation of expectations in the way that things happen. And what I mean by that, is that you kind of release a cryptic tweet and then it doesn't get followed up with anything. So you kind of like, for those people who are really chomping at the bit to get this going and who are excited about things, it's kind of like, all right, a little bit of dopamine and then whoosh, and then back to like nothingness for a while. And I think that, you know, without being, you know, like crass and saying this, it's a little bit of a sea tease sometimes for certain people when that happens. And I think that there has to be, I guess, like a proper way to kind of like recognize that things are not near where they need to be, but you also can't wait for like the bear market and for market sentiment to return in order to kind of start releasing things, because at the end of the day, that's like not necessarily what this project is contingent upon. I think a lot of us that are here are not like here because we're expecting to go and flip our bags and kind of like make 100K like right now. I think the people that are left and the people that have joined the ecosystem, like Shadow and Ruspy and whomever, like have done so recently, are here because they actually appreciate what is going on. They value the assets, they value the community, they value what they can build with it. But from my perspective, it's kind of like old school like musicians where there'd be like a 3-year break between album cycles. You know, you kind of go, you release a record, you go on tour for like a year and a half, and then you take another year and a half off and you write. You know, you're writing while you're on the road, and you go back into the studio and you release a record. But there has to be something that is tiding over like the fan base in those like 3-4 years, because some people are very devout, and that's where, you know, okay, maybe there'll be like a little collab where you'll do like a collab with one artist. You know, you're not releasing your record, but you'll do a collab so that you can kind of satiate your fans. They get a little bit of like that kind of like dopamine hit from like what it is you're doing, but then you also let them know that, hey, I'm in the studio, I'm making a record, here's some like behind the scenes, here's some b-roll from like the songs that didn't make the record. There's still gotta be something that is given to the diehards during the dead periods while you're ramping up or getting ready for like the next album cycle, you know. And I think that's very strategic, and I think there should maybe be a little bit more attention paid to the way these cryptic little tweets are like released, because we saw those, whoever those influencers that were fighting the left facing 2-dimensional PFP, like, and I'm not saying that you need to spoon feed everyone, but you kind of do, because if you have to really think, from my perspective, like when you're going to release something like that, it's almost like you have to think more so how could this go wrong than how could it go right. And there has to be like a follow-up to that so that people don't jump to conclusions and then start, you know, going on the timeline and fudding. So you drop this like left-facing PFP, and then maybe like a few days later, you're like, all right, so this is what we're doing right now with Animus. We're doing these 2D things because we really want to build the blah, blah, blah for the blah, blah, blah. There has to be like more of a consistent story that's going to be told, I think, to keep people abated and to keep like, you know, the fudders at bay, as well as to make people in the community that aren't necessarily building in the way that, let's say, you are or that other people are, to keep them, you know, morally, to make them like feel a little bit like, you know, morally like uplifted throughout like this like hard period, because this bear is going to probably last another 1 to 2 years. So I just think it's important, like when you do release things, that there is a little bit of a follow-up. And I think that's kind of maybe, in my opinion, where it's been a little bit lacking. There's like a cryptic little tweet that'll come out here, and then it'll be like radio silence for like so long after that. And I don't think that that is a good practice. I think it doesn't necessarily mean you have to give away the whole plan for the next like 4 years, but there should still be some kind of consistent follow-up for those things so that people don't get frustrated, because I think that's sometimes what frustrates people. You know, they get this and like, oh, things are happening, and then it goes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
just what
think
I have to say.
that's exactly what I was trying to allude to, Alone, right? Is like the flow of it, right? Like that you have to put thresholds on the flow, and if you can put a lower threshold on that sort of wave, right? Like that wave, that if you know, if it starts to sort of fall below that threshold, you know, you have something ready to sort of punt, like give it a little bit of a boost. And I mean, I think that's what I mean whenever I talk about the emotionality of it. Like if you drop below that sort of threshold of engagement and stoke, you're gonna have people drop off in more like in higher numbers. And so if you think of it sort of as a wave, as like a wave on a musical wave, right? Like if it falls below that lower threshold, you're sort of in the danger zone down there. So yeah, I tend to agree with that 100% with what you're saying alone, as far as like, and I think that should be a lesson that has been learned across the space by multiple projects. If you can sort of tap into that that community flow with the team, and everyone sort of works in tandem, you have communications across the network, and you hit that sort of sweet spot. There can be sort of undulations all throughout that, but you sort of you level out that whipsaw of the highest highs and the lowest lows. And if you can find that flow, I mean, I think that ultimately that'll translate into success.
I
And I
just
think
jump in and say sorry. I just want to jump in and say I'll give you the year, not 2 years for the bear market, but I'll give you the year. But I agree with what you two guys are saying. I think let me ask. I can't do that. All right, Takashi Murakami is a gem for our community. I think they could literally just take some B-roll footage of him working on Animus and break that down over like the next 20 weeks and do like a 10K or 10K, whatever that project's called, where they release like a bit of their story every single Thursday. We do need some kind of engine that could tide people over, but definitely try to hold out as long as possible for a fair market conditions. That's all I want to say about what you were saying alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's like a band or an artist releases the record, they go on tour. All right, now they got to cook up some shit, and it takes time. Then they release the acoustic record. So it's like the same songs, but it's a different spin on it, and that comes out, let's say, a year after the album comes. So you're a year into your album cycle, and then you do your touring, and then you release an acoustic version of that record. And maybe you bring some of your friends along, to kind of perform with you. So it's like, oh, this is fucking cool. And then maybe you play a couple of one-off shows after that, over the next like 4 or 5 months. But for the majority of the time, you're in the studio, you're writing, you're recording, and then bang, you come to the 3-year mark, the new record comes out. And there's always been a little bit of like something to keep people abated and satiated along the way. And that's just the way I look at it. For the people that do get frustrated, waiting around, the people that aren't necessarily, let's say, building something for themselves, that they're not occupied with that, because different strokes for different folks, and everyone's here for different reasons. And then we converge, with our love for the project, whatever it is, whatever aspect of the project it is. Some people it might be the 3D files, some people it might be the art, some people it might be all of the above, some people it might be the community, etc. But I think, like if I look at it from an album cycle kind of way, there's always something going on. They're never completely like radio silent, unless they go like completely crazy and AWOL, and then all of a sudden, hey, I'm back, and there's usually a story that leads to that, hey, I'm back, that kind of gets people excited again. But that's just the way I look at it.
Animus, to make another Animus is going to take another year and a half. That's the other thing I wanted to say. So once Animus is out, if it is October, Eggtober, I forgot what the words y'all said. Whenever it comes out, that's it. It's out. So if it's good, then great. We're in a great spot. If it's not good, we're in a bad spot for the next year and a half till the next big quote unquote thing comes out.
I gotta jump in. Shadow. So maybe taking it back a little bit and piggybacking on what you're saying, the point of, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's going to be a problem. This is why I keep saying that we gotta let them cook, right? Because it's not just Animus. You have Move to, like, I feel like people keep forgetting Move to Earn and all these things that they can tie to the CIRLs, the crypto donks, all that stuff is why it's important that it's not just Animus rolling out. Why it's important that they They figure out what hibernation, incubation does, because everything that we've talked about with engaging with the community, all those different things, like the in between, how do you keep the engagement going? That's what each one of those little projects are gonna be guided towards. Like that's what they're aimed at. So that when they come out and they launch, it's a nice cadence of, well, yeah, we might not have a new IP going on, but guess what? Between the clones and the Animus and all the 5, 6 different items that we gave you, there's plenty going on to keep everyone engaged, mixing in the IRL as well as the digital experience, right? There's still Monolith X out there that we don't know what that experience is going to be. So it's all of building all that stuff, hitting all those items, so that again, that plan, that strategy, when it rolls out, it makes sense and you can follow it and you can actually get engaged. So like we're no longer going back to where we are right now, where, you know, to Elon's point earlier, like people are getting disengaged and they, you know, it's like some people are finding their own little way to stay engaged. Some people are just saying, I'll just come back later on. It's so that when it comes out, like there's a cadence and a flow to things. So a lot of the discussion tonight has been some really good points. I just keep going back to, there's a reason why this is taking so long, because that's not built overnight. And if you're throwing a team, and it's always a balance of time and resources, right? And what are you going to deliver with those resources? If you take a team and put it on the in-between experience right now, that's less people working on something else. So you got to be strategic about how you allocate your resources, because resources are not infinite. Time is not infinite. And therefore, if you want to focus and deliver on what's been backlogged, as well as future-proof yourself. And again, the proof will be in the pudding, right? Like the reason why I'm sitting here and I'm saying all these things is because that's how I would run my team and how I would run my business. And I know that there's a corporate machine behind this. So it's no longer what I'm choosing to believe is that this is no longer a small project that 3 people are running. There's actually counsel from some of the best minds in the world on how do you build that brand and keep it pushing, right? So up until they break the silence, it's all speculations on what they're going to do, what they might not do, including what I'm saying here. But I want to believe that all these things that we've been talking about, 1, it takes time to put it in place, and 2, this is why it's taking so long, because they're trying to address all these concerns so that, you know, we no longer have to come to Bad Take and have these vent sessions, right? But it can be back to, man, all right, how we're gonna organize and go on this IRL quest. Where do we meet up? How do we do whatever? Like actually things are in the ecosystem, or when dark data drops like something AI driven, hey, let's talk about that. Like how do I leverage that? How did you do it? Things of that nature. When, you know, then we can be focused on those things versus having, you know, kind of going back and forth on these things and basically having a therapy session for each other, right? So I mean, I'm excited about it.
No, but
You know,
I do think that those are good though, because I mean, I just sorry, I know I'm cutting in
yeah,
line,
and I
but
don't
I think
disagree.
those
So
are good.
I'm not saying this is bad at all. So, and I don't want anyone to take my comments as, you know, I feel like we shouldn't talk about it. I'm saying like, hopefully this is one of the last few sessions that we're gonna have, because I do expect there will be, you know, a few more of these, depending on how long this lasts. Again, just more providing the perspective of all these things are why it's taking so long and why it's important to get them, you know, sorted out and ready to go. Because again, each item, if you look at what they're aimed at from what we know, it does hit on a lot of what the comments and points that were made tonight, like the engagement and how do you keep the community and the people engaged, focused, and building. beyond just what the core team is doing, right? Like building their own brand and have tools that they can utilize in more substantial ways. I think that's really where this is going. But
It's
if you rush
inevitable.
that,
Tevye,
That's
it's
that.
inevitable that we'll have these conversations again, bro. Like I've been we-
Go ahead, you super rugged.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're Mr. Roboto
the
right now.
the emoji tweets or they do kind of get the endorphins going, and then the next following week or so you get the come down of those endorphins, like you're all excited for whatever to drop, and now you got that come down, and that's what this stage is. That's why, like, I think it's super. I think I agree with Alone. Like you gotta the tweets on they cause that kind of rush. But then it's super important for us as individuals to like manage our fucking mental health in this space, guys. Like this space in general is super taxing on mental health, not just Artifact, but just this space can be taxing on the mental health. So just it's super important that you take care of that first and make sure everybody's fucking solid there. Because if you rely so much on this space that it's starting to cause you like stress and start to fuck with your mind, then it's a good thing to kind of get outside, take some time. That's why they say touch grass. Dre hitting the bike 50, 60 miles a day. Baron's hitting the golf course, hitting some golf. Like that shit's important, right? Like none of this shit is so trivial. Like sure, we're all emotionally invested in it and we have money tied in it. But this shit is so trivial to like spending time with our families and fucking taking care of our health, our mental health, our physical health. Like, bro, make sure you guys are putting that shit first. Otherwise, it will drive you crazy in a bear market. I'm dead ass serious. I do got in this space, but I don't want to end this space until I at least say hi to Anya. She came up. I want to say hi to her. Hope her night's doing good. Anya, how are you?
Hi.
What's good?
Oh man, what a night. Thanks for saying hi to me. I'm sorry I came in so late. It was good conversation though. Um,
I figured out how
yeah,
to use spam emoji, so I mean it's been a pretty good night.
you know what? You're doing better than I am because even while I've been sitting here this entire time, I've been trying to do it without sending a random person in the audience an emoji on accident because like I just tap their face. So if I was sending you random emojis, I apologize. Like I'm not trying to flirt with you or anything. I'm just trying to do this glitch thing, whatever they're trying to do. So
I want to say that I appreciate you. I know that you listen to these every night. You've been in here every night for 8 months. You take notes in the group chats and you pass those along. So I appreciate the work that you do out here. You're amazing. So I'm gonna give you your flowers while I get the chance. And appreciate you always coming through and partaking with us and passing on like some of the things that we're saying here.
no, I really appreciate you guys. I know it's hard, because I'm like this middle bridge between communicating what you guys talk about and then to like, the team. And much of what we pass along, there's not a whole lot of passing back, right? Of like the thoughts and sentiments that are given to the team. And I know that can be really hard and it can feel like it's a one-way street sometimes. Um, but I just want you to know that, all of you, because there are always things to be given back to the team about what you guys are feeling and how you're thinking and, what the sentiment is. Um, and I hope that you'll know that, none of what you guys say is treated like complaints. It's, in the same way that when I'm complaining, like between my marriage, it's me trying to seek out a connection. Sometimes I would just want to be heard, and other times I want solutions. And I feel like it's the same for sentiment with our community. Like sometimes it's a need for connection, and a lot of times it's a need for a solution that we have, that we're seeking. Um, and you guys and what you say and what you communicate and what you're feeling, it's important. So I don't want anybody to ever hold back because they feel like they're maybe over speaking, where they are, but it's really important that you do so. You're valuable. Your voice is valuable. Your feedback is important. The community is the lifeblood of this whole ecosystem. So I for one am grateful. Sometimes it's hard because the personal side of it, right? And sometimes people forget that like I am a bridge. So, try to be a little bit more sensitive to my situation, which is that like sometimes I have to pass along information and I can't exactly give answers to all of the solutions or all the problems. But I'm always trying to be helpful and I'm always trying to give like some sort of comfort. Um, even when it's like, well, that's not good enough. Well, you're just, whatever it might be. And so it can be hard, but respect, I have so much respect for each of you and continuing to come back here, continuing to stay, continuing to build, and everything that you guys put out here, it's important. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys.
Beautifully said. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Anya. Yo, Comp, can I take a shot at closing this thing out?
My dude, yeah.
All right. No news is good news. Let it marinate. We don't want raw eggs. Introduce the time fills, creator challenges, quest puzzles. I love that. When we started Bad Take, we were 25% good vibes, 75% fielding negative shit. We're at a 95% good vibe rating. That is 3x better than when we started, more than 3x. It's on us to carry the message and push this creator content. Retweet them, share them, quote tweet, teach others how to do it right. Bombay taught me how to do it tonight. Appreciate you all. That's all I got.
Yo, we got 3x on the vibes, baby. Let's fucking go. Good night, y'all. We'll catch you tomorrow. I heard Ali is doing some kind of class in the Discord. I don't know. He said it. I didn't say it. I gotta go. Bye.